Chapter 1306. Yi Chen's words were like a resounding bell, instantly spreading to every corner of the world. His voice was so majestic and solemn that all the players and natives were invigorated. Great! This day has finally come. It's the first time a player has claimed the throne. Awesome! Yi Yu of Gojoseon is awesome. Long live Yi Yu of Gojoseon! The natives and players in the east cheered when they heard the news. They had gained so much from forming the golden body of Providence. What benefits would they get when they claimed the throne? Everyone was looking forward to the coronation tomorrow. They could only look up to Yi Chen's achievements. The 8th day of the 6th lunar month was an auspicious day. The sky was clear and a gentle breeze was blowing. Reincarnation Immortal City, Coronation Hall. All the officials and generals in Reincarnation Immortal City had changed into new, exquisitely made court uniforms. They held tablets in their hands and stood on both sides of the hall. The officials stood on the left while the generals stood on the right. The officials were led by Guojia, followed by Kai Yong, Sun Yu, Chen Kun, Pang Tong, Jia Su, Tianfeng, and the others. The generals were led by Guan Yu, followed by Zhao Yun, Dian Wei, Zhang Fei, Li Yuanba, Zhang Liao, Gao Shun, Zhang He, Chu Yi, Gan Ning, Han Dang, Qing Pu, Zhao Meng, Huang Zhong, Huang Su, Zhou Tsang, Yen Rou, Mi Zhu, Su Chu, Sun Su, Sun Jian, Tong Yuan, Lu Jin, Gao Lan, and the other generals. In the middle stood Zhao Yu, Diao Chan, Huang Yueying, Empress Hari, Nana Meng, Po Mizhen, Kai Yen, De Qiao, Xiao Qiao, Zhen Mi, Zhen Jiang, Zhen Tua, Zhen Dao, Zhen Rong, Philos Aureus Yu Ji, and the others. Beauty's Alliance and the other beauties stood outside the hall. Outside the Ascension Hall, the soldiers and civilians of Reincarnation Immortal City had been waiting for a long time. They had been waiting for this moment for a long time. Now that they were finally able to witness this important historical moment, everyone felt extremely honored. Yi Chen stood on the ascending platform, overlooking his many subordinates and his women. A heroic feeling arose spontaneously in his heart. Back then, when he first entered the game, his brother had fought alone, cutting through all the obstacles along the way and building such a huge family business. Now that he looked back, everything in the past was like yesterday, still vivid in his mind. Now that he saw so many people following him for a living, he couldn't help but sigh with emotion. The auspicious hour has arrived. Emperor, please change into your dragon robe and ascend to the throne. Accept the congratulations of the civil and military officials, the beauties of the imperial harem, and the people. Zhao Yu stepped forward and took the exquisitely crafted emperor's dragon robe from a beautiful palace maid. Together with Diaochan, she helped Yi Chen put it on. Then, she took the emperor's crown from the palace maid and personally placed it on Yi Chen's head. After that, Yi Chen sat on the dragon throne with the other beauties. Zhao Yu, Diaochan, Huang Yueying, Meng Po, Mi Zhen, Kai Yen, De Qiao, Xiao Qiao, Empress Hari, Zhen Mi, Zhen Jiang, Zhen Tua, Zhen Dao, Zhen Rong, Philos Aureus Yu Ji, and the others stood behind the dragon throne. Congratulations, Your Majesty, for ascending to the throne. Long live the Emperor, long live the Emperor! Under the leadership of Guojia and Guan Yu, the officials knelt down in the main hall and shouted, "Long live the Emperor." The slaves of the Beauties Alliance outside the hall also knelt down and shouted, "Long live the Emperor," in the air, together with the soldiers and civilians of the Reincarnation Immortal City. My dear officials, please rise. At this time, Yi Chen was very satisfied and dignified, showing the image of a holy emperor. Thank you, Your Majesty. After the civil and military officials kowtowed to express their gratitude, they stood up and stood on both sides of the main hall again. After the ceremony was over, Yi Chen sat high up on the dragon throne. The moment he spoke, his voice was filled with unparalleled majesty. Today I have just ascended to the throne and have just established the country. I need your cooperation to build the foundation of the Reincarnation dynasty. The officials immediately replied in unison, We will do our best and do our best until we die. Good. Yi Chen nodded and smiled. After ascending to the throne, he would advance to the Fate dynasty. This involved the great cause in the future, so Yi Chen attached great importance to it. This was the best time to establish the country, so Yi Chen took out the imperial jade seal derived from the 9 orifices exquisite stone on the spot. Then, he took out the imperial jade seal that he had obtained from Yuan Shao and injected his own fate into the imperial jade seal derived from the 9 orifices exquisite stone. Then, he used the refining method to combine the 2 imperial jade seals into one. After the refining was completed, the imperial jade seal had undergone a shocking change. At this time, the imperial jade seal was suspended in midair and constantly emitting a dazzling light, as exquisite as an immortal jade. After the imperial jade seal was successfully refined, Yi Chen immediately led the civil and military officials to the huge sacrificial platform in the center of the reincarnation immortal city. Long live the Emperor! The soldiers and civilians of the reincarnation immortal city who had been waiting around the central platform saw Yi Chen arrive and were so excited that tears filled their eyes. They all knelt down and shouted, "Long live the Emperor!" Standing on the sacrificial platform, Yi Chen immediately took out the Khanate merit treasure, the sword of the Emperor's Tao, the reincarnation sword. There was also the Heaven Book and the Imperial Decree. As soon as these 2 treasures appeared, they immediately resonated with the imperial jade seal. The 3 treasures kept vibrating and flew above the sacrificial platform together. At the same time, the 3 treasures emitted an extremely dazzling light that the people of the reincarnation immortal city couldn't open their eyes at all. At this moment, an extremely holy light suddenly descended from the sky and completely covered the 3 treasures. Under this holy light, the 3 treasures seemed very quiet as though they were receiving some sort of energy transmission. The soldiers and civilians of the reincarnation immortal city were dumbfounded. The Eastern players outside the reincarnation immortal city also looked at the huge pillar of light that descended from the sky. Everyone was very shocked. "Oh shit, did you see that pillar of light? Yi Yu of Gojoseon is ascending the throne this time. It seems that there's going to be a huge commotion. If only it's like last time. Perhaps I can break through to the mortal evolution state. I'm really looking forward to it. If only I could be lucky enough to become a resident of the reincarnation immortal city." Yi Chen looked at the 3 treasures in the sky. Their light became even more dazzling than before. After a while, the 3 treasures stopped at the same time. At the same time, the pillar of light that descended from the sky also disappeared. After the pillar of light disappeared, the 3 treasures slowly descended. The Heaven Book and the Imperial Decree automatically flew to Yi Chen. Yi Chen opened it and saw that there was a heaven-bestowed sacrificial text that was filled with the Qi of Tao on the Imperial Decree. Seeing this, Yi Chen was overjoyed. This meant that his ascension to the throne had been recognized by the Tao. With the recognition of the Tao, he would be protected by the Tao after ascending to the primordial Barrenland. This was a great opportunity that could only be chanced upon. Chapter 1307. With the sacrificial text bestowed by the great Tao, Yi Chen felt much more at ease. He immediately started the sacrificial ceremony. The next moment, he held the ecliptic imperial decree with both hands and began to read it aloud. "The universe is desolate, the beginning of heaven and earth." Yi Chen's voice was loud and clear as he recited the funeral oration. Every word was like a pearl. It was as if his words were made of gold and jade. Once he said it, it would be impossible for anyone to disobey him. At this moment, not a sound could be heard in the world. Only Yi Chen's chanting of the funeral oration echoed for a long time. The soldiers and civilians of Reincarnation Immortal City, the Eastern players, and the natives were all immersed in the eulogy. It was as if their spirits had been reborn. After a while, Yi Chen finished reading the eulogy and announced loudly, the reincarnation dynasty is established. As soon as he said that, it immediately attracted the enthusiastic support of the officials and civilians. Long live the reincarnation dynasty! Your Majesty! Long live! Long live! Long live! Below the sacrificial altar, the cheers were thunderous. The cheers were endless. At the same time, the world announcement sounded again. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Chen for successfully ascending to the throne. Special reward: X3000000 innate attribute points. X100000 supreme grade spiritual stones. X*** innate merit points. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Chen for successfully establishing the Xia Kingdom and upgrading to the Providence Dynasty. Special reward: X500000 innate attribute points. X500000 supreme grade spiritual stones. X*** innate merit points. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Chen for obtaining the Providence Dynasty Emperor's special attribute. Cultivation speed is increased by 81 times. Ding! Congratulations to Reincarnation Immortal City for successfully establishing the Providence Dynasty and officially changing its name to the Reincarnation Dynasty. All civilians in the Reincarnation Dynasty will have their cultivation speed increased by 18 times. As soon as the world announcement was made, all the Eastern players were in an uproar. F***ck Yu of Gojoseon, ah no, it's Emperor Yi now. Cultivation speed is increased by 81 times. Isn't that too overpowered? Motherf***ker, how are we supposed to live like this? Even ordinary people have 18 times the cultivation speed. Renhuangyi, please do us a favor. Is there anyone who doesn't clean the streets or clean the toilets? I can take care of all your followers. Sigh. We can only look up to Emperor Ye's footsteps. Work hard. You must find a chance to join the Samsara dynasty. After doing all this, Yi Chen rewarded the officials in front of everyone. The dynasty has been established, and all the officials should be in place. I confer Guojia the title of Grand Commandant, and he will be in charge of all the civil and military officials in the court. Jia Su was the Prime Minister. Sun Yu is the Great Minister of Works. Thank you, Your Majesty. Long live the Emperor! After receiving the title, the three of them immediately knelt on the ground and cheered loudly. At this moment, Yi Chen heard another game notification. Ding! Guojia, Jiasu, and Sun Yu are the three dukes, and their cultivation speed is 72 times faster. After receiving this notification, Yi Chen raised his eyebrows. There were indeed many benefits to being in the Luck dynasty. The three dukes were the highest-ranking officials, so their cultivation speed was only 9 times slower than Yi Chen's. The three of them were the three dukes, and they were in charge of all the government affairs. Other than Yi Chen, all the government affairs of the Samsara Celestial Dynasty were decided by the three of them. After that, Yi Chen conferred Kai Yong the title of Chamberlain, and he was responsible for reviewing memorials. Although his position was only second to the three dukes, it was a very powerful position. It was also because of Kai Yong's integrity that Yi Chen put him in this position. After receiving the decree, Kai Yong also received a notification that his cultivation speed was 63 times faster. Next, the 6 ministers and 9 ministers were Chen Kun, Pang Tong, Jia Su, Tianfeng, and Mi Zhu. Everyone received 54 times faster cultivation speed. As for the generals, Zhao Yun was conferred the title of Great General, and he was the leader of the generals. His position was on par with the three dukes, and he led all the generals in the court. At the same time, he received 72 times faster cultivation speed. After that, Guan Yu was conferred the title of General who pacifies the West, Zhang Fei was General who pacifies the North, Huang Zhong was General who pacifies the South, Ma Chao was General who pacifies the East, and Dian Wei was general who pacifies the center. They received 72 times faster cultivation speed. The rest of the generals were conferred the title of UG General, and they received 63 times faster cultivation speed. After the conferment of the civil and military officials, Yi Chen announced that the wedding ceremony would be held the next day. After the ceremony, Yi Chen once again became the focus of all the Eastern players' attention. Many people began to find connections to get into the Samsara dynasty. However, no matter how much money they spent, no matter what method they used, they could not get in. Even becoming a low-level slave was harder than ascending to the heavens. For a time, the players were full of complaints, and some people began to complain. Some players with ulterior motives also began to provoke the normal players to hate Yi Chen. In a short period of time, it was very effective. A lot of people who did not know the immensity of heaven and earth began to complain about Yi Chen. Some of them even cursed Yi Chen behind his back. Some people even said that they would organize everyone to attack the Samsara dynasty. However, this kind of idiot could only fool himself. Anyone with a bit of sense would not be as crazy as him. The next day, the palace of the Samsara dynasty was decorated with lanterns and colored banners, and the atmosphere was joyous. Today was Yi Chen's big day, and all the civil and military officials came to congratulate him. Before the wedding, he went to the Samsara city in the real world and took her into the small world inside his body, and brought her to the newbie area of the Three Kingdoms. During the wedding, Yi Chen appointed Zhao Yu, Empress Hari, Nana, Diaochan, Huang Yueying, Meng Po, Mi Zhen, Kai Yan, De Qiao, Xiao Qiao, Zhen Mi, Zhen Jiang, Zhen Tua, Zhen Dao, Zhen Rong, Philos Aureus, Yu Ji, and the others as queens, and they all received the same 81 times cultivation speed as him. He Lian and the other beauties of the Beauty Alliance were still concubines and slave. However, they did not complain at all. Compared to those players who could never enter the Samsara dynasty, they were already considered as geniuses. What could they complain about? Not only did they not complain, but they also felt that they were very lucky. After the wedding, Yi Chen and the girls entered the bridal chamber, and they had sex for the whole night. Yi Chen's ability in that aspect was also very powerful. So many girls were taken care of by him, but he was still not satisfied, and the girls kept screaming. Chapter 1308. The next day, at dawn, Yi Chen made a mental command and the 5 elements spirit pearl appeared in front of him. Since he was about to ascend, he should upgrade his small world. Thinking of this, Yi Chen looked at the 5 elements spirit pearl floating in the air and made a mental command. The next second, the 5 elements spirit pearl entered the small world. Yi Chen smiled as he looked at the 5 elements spirit pearls floating in the small world. With a thought, 5 origins containing the aura of the great Tao flew out of the 5 elements spirit pearls with a buzz and spread out. At the same time, a mysterious and inexplicable aura appeared in the small world and became stronger and stronger. In the next second, the small world, which was already very big, expanded rapidly until it was 10 million times bigger. When Yi Chen saw this, he sensed the newly completed world within his body. Then, he smiled. Not bad, not bad. The 5 elements origins merged into the small world and completed the rules of the small world. In this way, the small world in his body could grow rapidly and eventually become a boundless world. Thinking of this, the corners of Yi Chen's mouth curled up. It was time to change the time rules. Now that the small world in Yi Chen's body had finally become an independent world with complete rules, Yi Chen could naturally do what he wanted to do before. Thinking of this, Yi Chen made a mental command and the time rules of the small world in his body changed. After 10 minutes, Yi Chen opened his eyes. 10,000. 1 year in the outside world was 10,000 years in the small world. Not bad, not bad. Unfortunately, the small world in his body was not very strong, otherwise, he could adjust it even higher. The small world had just completed its evolution and was still in its infancy. There was still a lot of room for growth in the future. Otherwise, Yi Chen would not think so. Just as Yi Chen thought of this, a world announcement sounded. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Chen for successfully opening the small world in his body. Special reward: X1000000 innate attribute points. X 50,000 supreme grade spirit stones. X1000000 innate merit points. When the news came out, the world was shaken. There were those who were envious and those who were jealous of Yi Chen from all over the world. Many of the players who hated Yi Chen to begin with were angered to death. The Eastern players were already used to this, but they couldn't help but discuss it. Renhuang Yi really doesn't know fatigue. He's always refreshing our understanding. What's this inner world thing? It sounds very powerful. It's not just powerful, it's awesome to the extreme. Every ability that appears in the world announcement is so powerful that it defies the heavens. Sigh. Why can't I make a world announcement? Stop dreaming, you have no chance in this lifetime. As for the Eastern players who had been instigated to hate Yi Chen, they also began to vent their dissatisfaction. Motherf ******** Yi Chen, that bastard. Even if you eat the meat, you should leave us a bowl of soup to drink. He's taking all the benefits, so what are we supposed to do? That's right, Yi Chen is too despicable. He's such a rotten person who gives birth to children without any assholes. Sooner or later, I'll kill my way into the reincarnation dynasty, take his position, and take everything from him. Reincarnation Immortal City, City Lord's Mansion. He curled his lips in disdain as he looked at the world channel that was constantly being updated. A bunch of idiot. At a time like this, they really couldn't help but reveal their true colors. Thinking of this, Yi Chen smiled coldly. Then, he took out all the immortal grade materials and began to expand Reincarnation Imperial City. As the rare immortal grade materials were integrated into Reincarnation Imperial City, the surface area of Reincarnation Imperial City was expanding at a speed visible to the naked eye. At this moment, the Eastern players and natives saw Reincarnation Immortal City in the sky expanding rapidly and shouted excitedly. Hey, come and see, Reincarnation Immortal City is expanding. It's true, what's Renhuang Yi doing? Could it be that Renhuang Yi is being merciful and wants to include the entire East into Reincarnation Immortal City's territory? If that's the case, won't we automatically become citizens of Reincarnation Immortal City? Ha ha ha! That's great, long live Renhuang Yi, I love you so much. Under the watchful eyes of the natives and players, Reincarnation Immortal City lived up to their expectations. Soon, it covered the entire beginners area of the Three Kingdoms and finally became the Reincarnation Dynasty. At this moment, the Reincarnation Dynasty had already covered the entire beginners area of the Three Kingdoms. Yi Chen's mind moved and all the natives of the East automatically became citizens of the Reincarnation Dynasty. As soon as this decision was made, all the natives of the East received a notification that they had automatically become citizens of the Reincarnation Dynasty. For a moment, the entire Reincarnation Dynasty was filled with cheers. All the natives of the beginners area of the Three Kingdoms knelt on the ground and cried bitterly. They kept kowtowing and thanking Yi Chen for taking them in. However, the players were not so lucky. After the Reincarnation Dynasty completed its expansion, they were immediately teleported out of the beginners area of the Three Kingdoms. As they were not citizens of the Reincarnation Dynasty, they naturally had to be teleported out. When the players realized this and knew that Yi Chen did not want them, the world channel was filled with all sorts of complaints and pleas. Renhuang Yi, I'm your supporter. Why don't you take me in? That's right, Renhuang Yi. I'm your loyal fan. Why do you take in the natives but not me? Pfft Yi, you're such a disgrace. Why don't you want us? Without the Eastern players, would you be where you are today? That's right, Yi Chen. Have you forgotten your surname because of your success? Yi Chen could not be bothered with these people. After the Reincarnation Dynasty completed its expansion, he immediately took out the Divine City Advancement Order and Celestial City Advancement Order and chose to use them. Ding. You've used the Divine City Advancement Order, Sovereign, One and Only. Reincarnation Immortal City has been upgraded to Reincarnation Divine City. The construction materials of the Immortal City have been upgraded to God tier. Ding. You've used the Celestial City Advancement Order, Sovereign, One and Only. Reincarnation Immortal City has been upgraded to Reincarnation Empire. The construction materials of the Divine City have been upgraded to an A tier. After the two advancement orders were used in succession, the entire world suddenly became abnormally bright. In an instant, countless rainbows descended from the 9 heavens. Dragons, phoenixes, cheilants, and other auspicious beasts appeared. This extremely spectacular scene stunned all the Eastern people. At the same time, a world announcement was heard. Ding. Congratulations to player Yi Chun for successfully establishing the Reincarnation Empire and completing the conditions for the entire nation to ascend. All the subjects of the Reincarnation Empire will ascend to the Eldritch world. The countdown to ascension begins. 10, 9, 8. After hearing this world announcement, all the Eastern players immediately became excited. Renhuang Yi, Big Brother Yi, Grandpa Yi, please take me in. That's right, Renhuang Yi. As long as you let me into the Reincarnation Empire, I'll be your slave for the rest of my life. Grandpa Yi, please take me in. I used to have a bad mouth. I shouldn't have said such things. As long as you take me in, you can punish me however you want. Yi Chun completely ignored the pleas of these Eastern players. After all, he still could not trust these players. Therefore, he could only leave them in the beginner's area of the 3 kingdoms. If they wanted to ascend to the Eldritch world in the future, they would have to rely on their own abilities. 3, 2, 1. Time is up. The Reincarnation Empire will ascend to the Eldritch world. Just like that, under the gaze of all the Eastern players, the incomparably huge Reincarnation Empire slowly ascended into the sky. Then, it flew higher and higher, further and further away. Finally, it turned into a ray of light and disappeared from everyone's sight. Chapter 1309. The Samsara dynasty traveled through the space-time tunnel and ascended to the untainted land in the blink of an eye. When everyone saw the light of day again, Yi Chun discovered that he had already arrived at a whole new world. The fresh air and the abundant spiritual qi were indeed the untainted land in his previous life. At this time, Yi Chun, who was sitting in the imperial palace of the sacred city of Samsara, immediately released his mind sense and began to explore the surroundings of the Samsara dynasty. After a short while, Yi Chun opened his eyes. He had a preliminary understanding of the surrounding situation of the Samsara dynasty. Yi Chun had not been to the current location of the Samsara dynasty in his previous life, so he had no impression of this place. He only knew that within 1,000 miles of the Samsara dynasty, there were vast mountains and forests. Taking a deep breath, Yi Chun felt the abundant spiritual qi in the untainted land. It was the same as in his previous life. After that, Yi Chun led his women and civil and military officials to the border of the Samsara dynasty. The original appearance of the untainted land immediately appeared in front of everyone. Is this the untainted land? Zhao Yu exclaimed from the bottom of her heart. Strange birds that were dozens of meters long were flying back and forth in the sky. All kinds of strange beasts were running around. There were also towering trees that were thousands of meters high. All of these showed the richness and vastness of the untainted land. The towering mountains were endless, reaching into the clouds. The lowest mountain was tens of thousands of feet high. The territory was so vast that one could not find the border. The air here was so fresh and the spiritual qi was so abundant. When the girls arrived here, they were all very excited. Great! We have finally ascended to the untainted land. I didn't expect it to be so good here. Look at those birds and beasts. They have never been seen in the mortal world. Wow! It's so beautiful. I really want to go out and have a look. Suddenly arriving in this unknown new world, Empress Hari, Nana, Jiaochan, Huang Yueying, Mi Zhen, Kai Yan, De Qiao, Xiao Qiao, Zhen Mi, Zhen Jiang, Zhen Tua, Zhen Dao, Zhen Rong, Philos Aureus, Yuji, and the other girls happily chatted with each other when they saw such a beautiful scene in the untainted land. Zhao Yu was the first to arrive in front of Yi Chen. She bowed her head and said, "Your Majesty, Chenxia wants to take my sisters outside to have a look. Is that possible?" Seeing how excited they were, Yi Chen couldn't bear to refuse, so he said dotingly, "Okay, then go. But be careful and be careful." "Thank you, Your Majesty." With Yi Chen's approval, Zhao Yu immediately left the territory of the Samsara dynasty happily with her sisters. They laughed and talked along the way, which was very lively. Yi Chen's women were all powerful, and with Empress Hari and Nana, he didn't worry about their safety. Seeing that they were getting farther and farther away, the civil and military officials also wanted to go out and have a look. But they were too embarrassed to ask, so they could only look at them and sigh. Yi Chen knew what they were thinking, so he said to them, "We have just arrived here. You can explore the surroundings. If you encounter any threats, come back to report in time." "Yes, Your Majesty." Hearing this, the civil and military officials immediately set off. They couldn't wait to rush to the vast untainted land without even taking their attendants with them. The allure of this new world was too great for them. Everyone was eager to explore it. Watching them leave, Yi Chen thought of the howling celestial dog that he had sent to the untainted land to collect treasures for him. After not seeing it for so long, it must have found something. Thinking of this, Yi Chen directly began to summon the howling celestial dog. Woof, woof. Not long after the summoning, with several barks from the sky, a magical and powerful heavenly dog descended from the sky. Yi Chen fixed his eyes and found that it was the howling celestial dog that he had not seen for a long time. As soon as the howling celestial dog landed, it ran to him, wagging its tail. It was very excited to see its master again. Stroking its head, Yi Chen asked dotingly, "After such a long time, have you found anything good?" Hearing this, the howling celestial dog immediately opened its mouth and spat out a lot of things. Yi Chen saw that the things brought by the howling celestial dog piled up into a mountain of thousands of meters high. It seemed that it had worked hard these days. Yi Chen gave it a cursory glance. The things collected by the howling celestial dog were basically all kinds of low-level heavenly treasures, but they were still good things. When the soldiers' cultivation levels increased, they could use them. At this time, Hua Tuo and the Nanhua immortal came to find Yi Chen. When the two saw Yi Chen, they respectfully reported their situation. "Your Majesty, our cultivation levels have now reached the level of alchemist. We can try to refine better pills for Your Majesty." "Good." When Yi Chen heard this, he was immediately overjoyed. The two of them had come at the right time. Yi Chen was planning to refine pills on a large scale here, and they had broken through. Could this also have something to do with the Fate Dynasty's boost? Thinking of this, Yi Chen's eyes lit up and then he said, "The two of you can now enter my small world to refine pills. You can use the spiritual herbs in there however you want." The small world had officially become a cultivation base for spiritual herbs. Ordinary spiritual herbs were growing in large batches every day, and they were growing faster and faster. No matter how much Hua Tuo and the Nanhua immortal used them, they would never run out. Hua Tuo and the Nanhua immortal were overjoyed. They had just broken through and were worried about not having enough spiritual herbs to practice on. They did not expect their emperor, Yi Chen, to give such an order. The two of them immediately beamed and kowtowed on the spot. "Thank you, Your Majesty, for the medicine. We will do our best to refine pills for Your Majesty." "All right, you can go in." After saying this, Yi Chen waved his hand and put the two of them and the mountain of herbs into his small world. After sending the two of them off, the 10 blacksmiths that Yi Chen had previously taken in also came to see him. "Greetings, Your Majesty. May Your Majesty live for 10,000 years. When the 10 blacksmiths came in, they bowed to Yi Chen very respectfully. Yi Chen waved his hand and said, "Rise." "Thank you, Your Majesty." When they stood up, Yi Chen asked, "Why did you come to see me?" The leader of the 10 blacksmiths took a step forward and answered respectfully, "Your Majesty, we've all successfully reached the mortal evolution state and became forgery masters. Thus, we're here to report to Your Majesty." Hearing this, Yi Chen raised a brow. He didn't expect them to have reached the mortal evolution state as well. Before, the 10 blacksmiths weren't of a high enough level, so Yi Chen couldn't refine weapons on a large scale for the defense organization to use. Now, the 10 blacksmiths became forgery masters. This meant that they could refine spirit weapon in batches. The problem of upgrading the defense organization's equipment could finally be solved. Yi Chen was in a great mood as he looked at the 10 blacksmiths. He immediately said to them, "Very good. I have already prepared enough refining materials for you. Enter the pocket world now and begin refining weapons and equipment in batches." Chapter 13:10. "Yes, Your Majesty." When Yi Chen heard this, he immediately sent the 10 blacksmiths into the small world in his body. Now the time flow rate in the micro-world was 10,001. Yi Chen was sure that it would not be long before they could refine a large number of weapons and armors for the Samsara dynasty. After all this, Yi Chen suddenly felt that his spiritual qi was surging, as if he was about to break through. This was not surprising. Before Yi Chen ascended, he had been suppressing his cultivation and did not raise it. Now he was in the untainted world, where the spiritual qi was abundant, so he could no longer suppress his cultivation. Now the spiritual qi in his body was surging, and he was about to break through. At the same time, the clear sky was suddenly covered with dark clouds, and there was a faint sound of thunder. Yi Chen looked up and realized that he was about to break through, so he attracted the thunder tribulation. Rumble! The dull sound of thunder kept ringing, and more dark clouds gathered in the sky. In the blink of an eye, the sacred city of Samsara was completely covered, and there was no sign that it would stop soon. Seeing this, Yi Chen hurriedly held his breath and came to the square of the imperial palace, ready for the baptism of the thunder tribulation. At this time, the dark clouds in the sky were forming a huge vortex, which was still spreading to all directions. While the huge vortex was expanding rapidly, with the rapid rotation of the vortex, there were constantly violent thunderbolts gathering in the center of the vortex. As soon as these terrifying thunderbolts met the black clouds in the sky, they immediately fused into the huge terrifying vortex. Rolling lightning constantly flashed in the clouds, as if they were preparing for the most powerful attack. Good. Yi Chen looked coldly at the black vortex formed by the black clouds in the sky. A look of confidence flashed in his eyes. He had been waiting for this day for a long time. If there was a heavenly tribulation, he certainly hoped that it would be as powerful as possible, so that he could gain more. As if stimulated by Yi Chen, the dark clouds in the sky were rolling more violently. The total area of the dark clouds was now larger than the vast territory of the Samsara dynasty, and it was covering the depths of the untainted world. As the terrifying tribulation clouds in the sky churned violently, the pitch-black vortex above Yi Chen's head suddenly flashed a few times. Then, an extremely terrifying and strange black energy shot down from the vortex and enveloped Yi Chen within it. Yi Chen felt that the black energy was not lethal. It was just a way for the heavenly tribulation to lock him, to prevent Yi Chen from escaping. Once he was locked by the black energy, he could not escape the attack of the heavenly tribulation, even in the dimensional space. However, it was unnecessary for Yi Chen, because he had never thought of escaping. Every heavenly tribulation was a good opportunity for Yi Chen to gain great benefit. How could he miss it? For others, the heavenly tribulation was a life-or-death tribulation, but for Yi Chen it was a season of harvest. Therefore, when Yi Chen saw the heavenly tribulation, he was not nervous at all. Instead, he was looking forward to the benefits that the heavenly tribulation could bring him. At this time, the dark clouds in the sky had already passed the border of the Samsara dynasty. In just a short while, the clouds had spread nearly 500 miles away, and there was still no sign of stopping. Coincidentally, several monster kings were fighting with each other in this area. These monster kings were in the middle of fighting when they suddenly sensed the rapid changes in the surroundings. When they looked up and saw the rolling clouds in the sky, they were shocked. This terrifying tribulation cloud was really strange. The demon kings were all stunned by the scene before them. They all put away their combat dharma treasures at the same time. Their gazes landed on the terrifying tribulation cloud in the sky at the same time, and their faces revealed astonishment. Who is going through the heavenly tribulation? How can it be so horrible? These monster kings had never seen or heard of such a huge heavenly tribulation cloud in their lives, so it was no wonder that they were so shocked. With their knowledge, they could tell at a glance that the huge clouds contained extremely pure immortal spiritual qi. Obviously, a human cultivator was going through the heavenly tribulation. These monster kings had only seen the heavenly tribulation of a human immortal before, but the scale of the heavenly tribulation cloud in front of them was really terrifying. What kind of heavenly tribulation is this? Earth immortal? Celestial immortal? Golden immortal? Or Daluo Jinxian? How can the one going through the heavenly tribulation be so powerful? Although they had never seen Yi Chen before, judging from the edge of the heavenly tribulation cloud, the one going through the heavenly tribulation must be an extraordinary person. The monster kings were still in a daze when they saw the heavenly tribulation cloud in the sky suddenly accelerate and rush toward them. Damn it, retreat quickly. Don't let the heavenly tribulation affect you, or you will lose your life. The monster kings were terrified when they saw the strange and terrifying heavenly tribulation cloud in the sky. They were not in the mood to find out who was going through the heavenly tribulation. If they were too slow and accidentally touched the destructive aura of the heavenly tribulation cloud, they would definitely become living targets of the heavenly tribulation. With their strength, if they were hit by such a terrifying heavenly tribulation, they did not need to think to know what would happen. Losing an arm or a leg or dying on the spot was considered a light punishment. If they were not careful, their souls might be destroyed and they would never be reincarnated. The heavenly tribulation was an indescribably mysterious thing in the eyes of cultivators. No matter if it was a human or a demon, no matter how high your cultivation level was, if you accidentally entered the heavenly tribulation cloud, the power of the heavenly tribulation would increase exponentially according to the cultivation level of the intruder. The higher the cultivation level of the intruder, the more powerful the heavenly tribulation would be. Therefore, if someone accidentally entered the range of the heavenly tribulation cloud of the person going through the heavenly tribulation, they would usually end up dead. Some unlucky ones even had their souls completely destroyed. This was also the reason why the monster kings were so frightened when they saw the heavenly tribulation cloud rushing toward them. Although they were still very confused, escaping was more important. At this moment, the monster kings used their best escape skills and quickly flew in the opposite direction of the heavenly tribulation cloud. How could they still care about the previous battle and the person going through the heavenly tribulation in the center of the heavenly tribulation cloud? The only thing they wanted to do now was to quickly leave the range of the terrifying heavenly tribulation cloud. Chapter 13:11. As the tribulation clouds continued to gather in the sky, rumbling thunder could be heard. Within the ink-black tribulation clouds, countless bolts of lightning flashed back and forth. That terrifying scene was as if doomsday had arrived. Seeing the pure energy gathering in the tribulation clouds in the sky and rapidly growing, Yi Chen couldn't help but reveal a look of joy. His devour the heavens and earth had long been cultivated to the large success stage. He could devour everything in the world, so a small tribulation lightning was naturally nothing to him. Now, this was a great opportunity and it could be put to good use. Why isn't your tribulation lightning coming down quickly? I've been waiting for so long. Yi Chen, who had been waiting for a long time, was already impatient. He looked up at the sky for so long and it was really boring. Crackle! Crackle! As if angered by Yi Chen's words, an incomparably vast and majestic energy instantly erupted from the black vortex. With a loud bang, an extremely violent bolt of green lightning suddenly descended from the bottom of the black tribulation cloud vortex and struck directly at Yi Chen's head. Devour the heavens and earth. Yi Chen, who had been eagerly waiting, immediately raised his hand to meet the lightning when he saw it strike down. The moment his body came into contact with the tribulation lightning, Yi Chen only felt an extremely pure and majestic energy rapidly pouring into his body. Feeling the purity and rarity of this vast energy, Yi Chen immediately used the technique to quickly refine this extremely pure energy that entered his body. Ha ha! Let the storm come more violently. Yi Chen was in a good mood after obtaining the energy of this lightning bolt, and he once again shouted at the sky. Crackle! As if it was very dissatisfied with Yi Chen's arrogance, the black tribulation cloud vortex in the sky once again sent down an even more powerful bolt of lightning straight at Yi Chen's head. Wow! So good! This time, Yi Chen directly turned into an electric man. His entire body was constantly emitting various colored electric arc. At this moment, he felt that his body was completely filled with extremely violent energy. This feeling of pain and happiness was really wonderful. Yi Chen was so happy that he didn't want to stop. Yi Chen revolved his swallow the heavens and devour the earth supernatural power to the extreme. The feeling of energy filling his body made it impossible for him to stop. He felt as if countless bolts of lightning were constantly tempering his body, and his strength was rapidly rising. In the sky, the terrifying thunderclouds became even more violent, as if they were really angry. In the next moment, a thunderous boom was heard. A green lightning bolt as thick as a water bucket fell from the sky at lightning speed and struck Yi Sun's head. Yi Chen only felt an extremely cold and eerie energy instantly spread throughout his body. There was even an extremely domineering energy that directly drilled into the depths of his spiritual sea. It was actually a lightning tribulation that attacked the divine soul? This is quite interesting. After discovering that this was a tribulation lightning that attacked the divine soul, Yi Chen immediately sank his consciousness into his sea of consciousness. Sure enough, the moment he entered his sea of consciousness, he saw that the tribulation lightning that attacked the divine soul was rapidly attacking his primordial spirit. However, Yi Chen had the green lotus flag and the mysterious yellow heaven and earth exquisite pagoda, two treasures that protected his spiritual sea. How could this lightning tribulation attack him? That lightning tribulation attacked a few times consecutively, but it was firmly blocked by the mysterious yellow heaven and earth exquisite pagoda. Seeing that the time was right, Yi Chen directly ended the battle. Swallow the heavens and devour the earth. Once this move was used, the lightning tribulation that attacked the divine soul was immediately devoured by Yi Chen in his spiritual sea. After devouring this energy, Yi Chen felt that his primordial spirit had strengthened by quite a bit. Although Yi Chen had easily resolved this crisis, the lightning that attacked the soul in the lightning tribulation still shocked him. This kind of lightning tribulation was usually extremely rare. Perhaps it was specially targeted at him. Looking at the terrifying tribulation clouds that were still rolling in the sky and the lightning that was constantly gathering in the clouds, Yi Chen seemed to have understood something. Yi Chen's guess was right. This lightning tribulation that attacked the divine soul was indeed targeted at him. When ordinary tribulation transcendence stage cultivators underwent their tribulation, the tribulation clouds would only cover an area of a dozen kilometers. However, Yi Chen's strength was too strong, to the point of being abnormal. In the end, the heavenly Tao also thought that he was a demon and a scourge that had to be eliminated. Therefore, he attracted such a terrifying heavenly tribulation. While he was thinking, 2 more green lightning tribulation clouds in the sky crashed down on him again. This time, Yi Chen directly flew up into the sky to meet the green lightning tribulation clouds that were shooting down. Crackle! Gotcha! The green lightning tribulation clouds this time was even more powerful. Although Yi Chen had been using the Devour the Heavens divine ability, his entire body was completely enveloped by countless electric arcs. He looked like a huge fireball. Feeling the powerful energy constantly entering his body and continuously tempering his body and soul, Yi Chen felt extremely good at this moment. There was nothing more convenient and faster than using the lightning tribulation to level up. And this time, the soul energy that attacked his spiritual sea was much stronger than the previous time. However, it was still directly devoured by Yi Chen and became nourishment for his primordial spirit that was constantly strengthening. Several powerful attacks were safely received by Yi Chen. At this moment, the tribulation clouds in the sky suddenly entered a berserk state. Green lightning tribulation clouds shot towards Yi Chen, who was floating in midair. In a short period of time, Yi Chen was hit by 40 to 50 green lightning tribulation clouds. In the face of such a berserk heavenly tribulation, Yi Chen was not afraid at all. Instead, he was secretly delighted. In the past, the lightning tribulations would only send down a bolt of lightning after half a day. Even if he endured until the end, there would only be a few bolts. Basically, the number of bolts would not exceed the single digit. But now, he had received special treatment from the heavens. The lightning tribulations came in waves and rained down on him as if they were free. It was simply too good. Moreover, the green lightning tribulation clouds had the effect of attacking the soul. Yi Chen could take advantage of this opportunity to temper his primordial spirit. Yi Chen did not want to miss such a heaven-sent opportunity that could only be encountered by chance. Because of the great noise he made, all the demon kings within 1,000 miles of the Samsara dynasty were now attracted out of their abodes by the terrifying lightning tribulation clouds. They looked at the terrifying super-tribulation clouds in the sky from afar, and were all pale with fright. Gosh, which powerful figure is going through the tribulation clouds? This is too frightening. Look at the immortal spiritual chi in the tribulation clouds. It's too huge and too thick. Damn it, why am I not the one going through the tribulation clouds? How unfair the heavens are. Idiot, instead of sighing here, it's better to go back and work hard on cultivation. The demon tribe was not the only one who was frightened by the tribulation clouds. Zhao Yu and the others saw the terrifying tribulation clouds not long after they left the Samsara dynasty. Because they were worried about Yi Chen's safety, they turned back. Chapter 13:12. When they reached the edge of the tribulation clouds, they didn't dare to move forward anymore. Although their power was only at the mortal evolution state, they were afraid that they would bring more trouble to Yi Chen if they entered the tribulation clouds. Thus, they could only watch from afar. Sister Zhao Yu, do you think His Majesty will be fine? Diao Chan looked at the cloudy sky and said worriedly with a frown. Don't worry. His Majesty will be blessed by the heavens. I believe he will survive this tribulation safely, Zhao Yu comforted with certainty. Reincarnation Holy City on the huge square. Yi Chen floated in midair. After absorbing dozens of azure tribulation lightning, the tribulation clouds in the sky calmed down for now. However, the huge whirlpool of tribulation clouds in the sky did not scatter. It looked like it was preparing for an even stronger attack. At this moment, Yi Chen sensed the huge changes in his body and sea of consciousness. He was overjoyed. After the repeated refinement of the green lightning bolts, Yi Chen's essence spirit had been tempered to be extremely solid. It was at least 10 times stronger than before. Yi Chen's physical body had also been tempered by this thunder tribulation. At this moment, he felt that his entire body was filled with incomparably violent energy. This violent energy that came from the thunder was simply too overbearing. Yi Chen felt that his body would explode at any moment. However, Yi Chen had already mastered the swallow the heavens and earth god art. In the blink of an eye, he had refined all the energy for his own use. At this moment, pitch-black lightning energy actually started to appear in the center of the huge tribulation cloud vortex in the sky. It was rapidly growing at a speed visible to the naked eye. As the black lightning energy continued to gather, terrifying black lightning arcs were constantly being born and kept rolling in the tribulation cloud. These terrifying pure black lightning arcs intertwined with the green lightning inside the tribulation cloud. The scene was extremely terrifying. If a timid person saw this, he or she would definitely be scared to death. If a heaven immortal state cultivator passed by, he or she might be scared to death by such a terrifying scene. Ordinary cultivators wouldn't be able to see such a terrifying tribulation. Even the various cultivation manuals of the primitive world wouldn't have any records of it. Accompanied by the continuous rumbling of thunder, the black energy in the tribulation cloud was finally filled to the brim. In the next moment there was a loud explosion. The rolling black lightning in the black whirlpool was like the Milky Way pouring down from the 9 heavens. Crack, crack, countless black lightning bolts fell at the same time. It was like a tsunami explosion shaking the entire world. Yi Chen, who was floating in midair, was instantly drowned in countless black lightning bolts. In the blink of an eye, Yi Chen was attacked tens of millions of times. The black lightning's attack was not to be underestimated. Lightning with corrosive properties? Interesting. While being hit by these black thunderbolts, Yi Chen's swallow the heavens and devour the earth spirit technique was also cast. Wu, the black lightning around Yi Chen suddenly formed a terrifying pitch-black whirlpool that spun around him non-stop. As it spun, the number of black lightning bolts decreased rapidly. The corrosive power in the lightning was very strong. If Yi Chen didn't have the swallow the heavens and earth god art, he would have been turned into ashes. However, after being baptized by the corrosive power, Yi Chen's body was undergoing a qualitative transformation. Compared to before, its toughness had improved tremendously. Seeing that this wave of tribulation lightning was about to be completely absorbed by Yi Chen, the tribulation cloud in the sky seemed to be stimulated by something. It suddenly swelled up like a huge balloon that was blown up in an instant. In the next moment, tens of millions of lightning bolts fell from the sky at the same time. Countless thunder sounds shook the heavens and the earth. In an instant, the world was filled with countless black lightning bolts again, as if a black hell had descended on the world. These tens of millions of black lightning bolts, with a boundless destructive aura, all struck at Yi Chen at the same time. Crack, crack, crack. The boundless destructive power erupted in an instant, and even the surrounding space was rapidly corroded. Swallow the heavens and earth. In the face of such a terrifying attack, Yi Chen's expression did not change. He was ecstatic, and the speed of his devouring became faster and faster. These black lightning bolts were really rare. They had an unexpected miraculous effect on the improvement of his divine body and the training of his divine soul. Yi Chen knew that he did not know when he would encounter such a good thing again in the future. Therefore, he had to devour and absorb as much as possible as soon as possible. Feeling that his divine body was becoming stronger and stronger at an incredible speed, Yi Chen suddenly had an idea. If he integrated the destructive power of the black lightning into the grade 12 black lotus of destruction, what would happen? With this thought in mind, Yi Chen immediately took out the grade 12 black lotus of destruction and injected a portion of the destruction energy he had devoured into the black lotus of destruction. As soon as the Black Lotus of Destruction came into contact with the destructive energy, it immediately reacted. The Grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction suddenly shone with a black light. It was very thirsty for the destructive energy. In an instant, it absorbed all of the destructive energy that Yi Chen injected. Not only that, after the Black Lotus of Destruction absorbed the destructive energy that Yi Chen injected, it seemed to be unsatisfied. It automatically flew into the sky and welcomed the black lightning bolts. Crackle! Crack! After the Grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction flew into the sky, it began to spin non-stop. It was like a magnet, attracting all the black lightning bolts. In an instant, all the black lightning bolts gave up on Yi Chen and attacked the Black Lotus of Destruction in the sky. However, these seemingly terrifying black lightning bolts were instantly absorbed as soon as they came into contact with the Black Lotus of Destruction. The absorption speed was much faster than Yi Chen's swallow the heavens and earth. F***CK. What's going on? The Black Lotus of Destruction is taking the initiative to devour the heavenly tribulation? Damn, don't devour it all. Thinking of this, Yi Chen hurriedly flew above the Black Lotus of Destruction to intercept some of the black lightning tribulation. Although this was effective, it could only attract a small part of it. Most of the black lightning tribulation was attracted by the Black Lotus of Destruction. It seemed that the black lightning was naturally close to the Grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction. The magic treasure and its owner had a very close relationship. In addition, the Grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction was a primordial treasure and showed signs of spiritual intelligence. At this moment, Yi Chen could feel the excitement and joy of the Black Lotus of Destruction. It was an emotion that he had never felt from the Black Lotus of Destruction before. To put it simply, the Grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction was very excited. This excitement clearly told Yi Chen one thing. That was, the Grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction might be evolving. Chapter 13:13. Feeling the excitement of the Grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction, Yi Chen inadvertently revealed a smile. At this time, with the Black Lotus of Destruction as the center, a huge vortex formed completely by black thunderbolts had formed. The black thunderbolts fiercely rolled around the Black Lotus of Destruction, and the huge and cold destruction energy was constantly seeping out of the huge black vortex. The energy was still very abundant. The endless destruction energy was rapidly injected into the Black Lotus of Destruction, and the terrifying scene of the end of the world was very frightening. At this moment, Yi Chen could only watch from above. With such a huge amount of destruction energy being continuously injected into the Black Lotus of Destruction, Yi Chen could not help at all. He could only watch from the side and pay attention to the situation of the Grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction. If there was any accident, he would immediately withdraw it. While the Grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction was constantly absorbing the destruction energy, it had formed an energy-bounded domain around it that was hundreds of feet high. The edge of the energy-bounded domain was completely black, and the Grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction inside it was constantly emitting a dazzling light. This bounded domain, surrounded by countless black thunderbolts, looked very powerful and solemn, and it was constantly emitting a terrifying pressure. Yi Chen did not know what was going on with the Black Lotus of Destruction. He immediately released his divine senses to investigate it carefully, but found that his divine senses could not pass through the black energy belt at the edge of the bounded domain. As soon as his divine senses touched the black energy belt, it was like a clay ox entering the sea, and there was no response. It can absorb and engulf the investigation of the divine senses? Such an amazing effect was unexpected by Yi Chen, and at the same time, he was looking forward to the upgrade of the Grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction. At this time, around the Samsara dynasty, the big and small demon kings outside the tribulation cloud had already been frightened by the horrible divine tribulation. They had never even heard of such a powerful and unpredictable heavenly tribulation, let alone having seen it before. The huge tribulation cloud in the sky was like a horrible demon that was humiliated and fell into a rage. After a flash of lightning and thunder, a huge amount of black thunderbolts rushed down from the sky. Crackle! Crack! The power of this wave of black lightning attacks was at least 10 times stronger than before. In the blink of an eye, countless black thunderbolts bombarded the boundary of the Black Lotus of Annihilation at the same time, but they could not shake the boundary at all. In the end, they could only merge into the black lightning vortex around the boundary and were slowly absorbed by the grade 12 Black Lotus of Annihilation. Yi Chen's eyes flashed with excitement and worry as he watched the grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction display such a strange phenomenon under the siege of the Black Thunderbolts. I wonder how the grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction will evolve. It was extremely rare for a magical treasure to advance in rank. It was something that could only be encountered and not sought. Under normal circumstances, if there weren't any special fortuitous encounters, one would burn incense to the gods to ascend to the next level in trillions of years. But no one imagined that Yi Chen would encounter such a good opportunity while transcending tribulation. From this, it could be seen that the Fate dynasty was of great help to Yi Chen, and it was absolutely indispensable. He had only obtained the Black Lotus of Destruction for a few months, and in such a short period of time, he had obtained the opportunity to evolve. Such luck would make many powerful people jealous. At this time, the demon kings who had been outside the range of the tribulation clouds were deeply shocked by the spectacular scene in front of them. While they were shocked, they were also talking to each other, trying to find out the origin of the tribulation clouds. "Brother Tiger, why is this terrifying heaven's retribution so strange? Have you seen this heaven's retribution before? I have never seen such a scale of heaven's retribution since I started cultivating. Look at the black lightning vortex under the tribulation clouds. It is full of death and destruction aura. If we go near it, we will die without a doubt." After listening to the tiger demon's analysis, the nearby demon kings showed obvious horror on their faces at the same time. Yi Chen didn't know how many bolts of black lightning struck the Black Lotus of Destruction. Just as he was wondering how many bolts of black lightning the Black Lotus of Destruction could withstand, he suddenly sensed a slight fluctuation of consciousness coming from the barrier. Receiving this fluctuation of consciousness, Yi Chen suddenly became curious and immediately tried to communicate with this weak consciousness. As soon as the two consciousnesses came into contact, Yi Chen was overjoyed, because this weak and immature consciousness was born from the grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction. This meant that the grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction already had a weapon spirit. Although this weapon spirit was very immature and weak, it was a qualitative leap. The weak weapon spirit could not communicate with Yi Chen yet. Yi Chen only felt that it seemed to be very excited now, as if waiting for a great happy event. Could it be that this immature weapon spirit has a premonition that it is about to successfully evolve? Yi Chen was puzzled, but suddenly he saw the boundary outside the grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction suddenly burst open, and all the black thunderbolts were absorbed in an instant. At the same time, above the grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction, there was a burst of extremely dazzling 5-colored light. As soon as the 5-colored light appeared, it immediately formed a very mysterious pentagram pattern. This pentagram pattern showed 5 magnificent colors of red, blue, gold, green, and yellow at the same time. It was very magical and dazzling, and under the brilliant light of this gorgeous pentagram, the grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction looked even more sacred at this moment, and its momentum soared. At this time, the pentagram pattern grew bigger and bigger, and it had already covered the grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction. Then, under the continuous shining of the 5-colored light, the pentagram pattern immediately began to rotate at a high speed. In an instant, a 5-colored light ball rotating at a high speed appeared in front of Yi Chen. Just as Yi Chen was attracted by the dazzling scene in front of him, he suddenly found that the tribulation clouds high in the sky, after the pentagram pattern appeared, seemed to be strongly stimulated by something. Endless black thunderbolts began to gather in the tribulation clouds again, and the movement this time was obviously much more terrifying than the previous thunder tribulations. Rumble, countless thunderbolts sounded in the sky. Its power was great and the scene was terrifying. It was simply appalling. Yi Chen felt that this thunder tribulations were at least more terrifying than all the previous ones combined. And just as he was extremely shocked, the black tribulation cloud vortex in the sky suddenly flashed black, and thousands of black thunderbolts as thick as buckets fell at the same time. Chapter 13-14. Seeing this, Yi Chen's eyes narrowed. What a violent energy! Just as Yi Chen thought of this, the pentagram outside the grade 12 black lotus of destruction floating in the sky suddenly shone brightly, and then it went straight to the thousands of black lightning bolts that were striking down. Buzz, buzz, buzz! A dense buzzing sound was heard instantly, and then all the black lightning bolts that were fierce just a moment ago were all swallowed up without exception. Seeing this, Yi Chen's eyes widened. Holy shit! It really blocked it. Just as Yi Chen thought of this, the tribulation clouds in the sky quickly dispersed, and in the blink of an eye, the sky became clear. At this moment, the system's notification suddenly sounded. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Chen for passing the flying celestial tribulation and becoming a sky immortal. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Chen for upgrading the grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction to a supreme grade sky immortal cardinal treasure. All of its powers have been greatly increased. As soon as the system's notification ended, Yi Chen's eyes lit up. Holy shit! He had become a sky immortal in one step, which meant that if he used up all the innate attribute points that he had accumulated, there was hope for him to become a Daluo Jinxian. Wait, a supreme grade sky immortal cardinal treasure? Holy shit, there was such a grade among the sky immortal cardinal treasures? There should be, otherwise the system would not have given such a notification. He just did not know how powerful the grade 12 Black Lotus of Destruction would be. Just as Yi Chen thought of this, the world announcement suddenly sounded. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Chen for being the first to ascend to the Eldritch World. Special reward to player Yi Chen. Innate attribute points x 10,000, supreme grade immortal crystals x 1,000, upper grade immortal crystals x 100,000, lottery x 1. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Chen for being the first to ascend to the sky immortal cardinal treasure. Special reward to player Yi Chen. Innate attribute points x 10,000, upper grade immortal crystals x 1,000,000, supreme grade immortal crystals x 10,000. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Chen for being the first person to advance to earthly immortal. Special reward to player Yi Chen. Innate attribute points x 100,000, high grade immortal stones x 2,000,000 pieces, supreme grade immortal crystals x 20,000. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Chen for being the first person to advance to Sky Immortal. Special reward to player Yi Chen. Innate attribute points x 200,000, high grade immortal stones x 5,000,000, supreme grade immortal crystals x 30,000. The world announcement was repeated 3 times. The Primordial World's world channel was very calm because Yi Chen was the only one who had ascended to the Primordial World. However, the world channel of the Three Kingdoms Novice Zone was in an uproar. This was because this world announcement had not only appeared in the Great Wilderness World, but it had also appeared in Yi Chen's beginner's area. F***CK. F***CK. Not only did Yi Chen ascend with the entire country, but he also jumped 3 times in a row. F***CK. This is too crazy. I'm already used to it. However, he's an immortal. How can he jump 3 times in a row after becoming an immortal? This is a little too much. Too much my ass. Immortal Yi has always been crazy, okay? I don't care if he's crazy or not. I just want to know one thing. How can I join the reincarnation dynasty? F***CK. I want to join too. Immortal Yez cultivation speed has increased by 81 times. F***CK. This is equivalent to having an 81 times experience cheat. This is the F***king key. What can we do even if we want to? Yi Chen will never let us join. Otherwise, when he ascends, he wouldn't just bring those natives with him and leave us behind. Sigh, I really don't understand why he doesn't accept us. If he did, we would definitely be willing to be his followers. I think Emperor Yi doesn't want to train a bunch of ingrates. That's why he refused to let others join the reincarnation dynasty. Some people are like that, but I'm not like that. Sigh, the World Channel was abuzz with comments. It was very lively. However, Yi Chen did not see this. Even if he did, Yi Chen would not care. As long as others did not become enemies with Yi Chen and did not scheme against Yi Chen, they could think whatever they wanted. Yi Chen could not be bothered with them. In the beginner's area of the Three Kingdoms, where Reincarnation City was located, the leader of the Beauty Alliance, Li Mengyao, looked at all the Beauty Alliance players who had come online and said, "We should go to the Great Wilderness World." The tens of thousands of female players in the Beauty Alliance had all become Yi Chen's women. They followed Yi Chen wholeheartedly. Although they were slaves and concubines, they did not care. Of course, this was not important. What was important was that they did not ascend with Yi Chen when he ascended. This was because they were worried that this would affect Yi Chen getting the reward of being the first to ascend. Li Mengyao and Hu Xiaoye wanted to ask Yi Chen when he could ascend, but now there was no need to. This was because the world announcement had clearly told them that Yi Chen had gotten the reward of being the first to ascend to the Great Wilderness World. Thus, it did not matter if they ascended now. As soon as Li Mengyao finished speaking, the female players of the Beauty Alliance nodded in unison. "Yes, sister." When Li Mengyao heard this, she smiled and nodded. Then, she moved her mind. Ding, player Li Mengyao has reached the mortal evolution state. Begin ascension? Yes. Ding, player Li Mengyao's ascension countdown begins. 3, 2, 1. As soon as the countdown ended, Li Mengyao turned into a beam of light and shot into the sky. At the same time, the female players of the Beauty Alliance also turned into beams of light and flew into the sky. At this moment, the players in the novice area of the Three Kingdoms were all dazed. Then, they all looked at the original location of Samsara City. Oh shit! What is that? Is there some kind of treasure inside? I don't know, but it seems to be flying into the sky. Are they going to fly away? Why do I feel like there are people in those beams of light? You saw it too. I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. Just as the players in the beginner area of the Three Kingdoms were discussing amongst themselves, tens of thousands of streaks of light flew into the white clouds and then disappeared. At this moment, the world announcement suddenly sounded. Ding! Congratulations to player Li Mengyao for being the second to ascend to the Great Wilderness World. Special reward to player Li Mengyao, innate attribute points x 9000, extreme grade immortal crystals x 90, and top grade immortal crystals x 9000. Ding! Congratulations to player Hu Xiaoye for being the third to ascend to the Great Wilderness World. Special reward to player Hu Xiaoye, innate attribute points x 8000, top grade immortal crystals x 80, and top grade immortal crystals x 8000. Ding! Congratulations to player Wang Mengmeng for being the fourth to ascend to the Great Wilderness World. Special reward to player Wang Mengmeng, innate attribute points x 7000, top grade immortal crystals x 70, and top grade immortal crystals x 7000. Ding! Congratulations to player Li Qian for being the fifth to ascend to the Great Wilderness World. Special reward to player Li Qian, innate attribute points x 6000, top grade immortal crystals x 60, and top grade immortal crystals x 6000. Ding! Congratulations to player Zhang Lanlan for being the 6th to ascend to the Great Wilderness World. Special reward to player Zhang Lanlan, innate attribute points x 5000, top grade immortal crystals x 50, and top grade immortal crystals x 5000. Chapter 13-15. The world announcement was repeated 3 times in a row, and the entire newbie area of the 3 kingdoms exploded. Oh shit! Oh shit! Beauty Alliance ascended too! Sigh, women are born with an advantage. Look, Beauty Alliance followed Empress Yi. Not only did they change their equipment, but they even ascended before us. What's the use of being envious? We're not women. Woo-woo, I'm a woman. I'm pretty too, but brother Yi Chen doesn't want me, forget it. You're a woman, that's true. You're pretty, but you're not a virgin. I know how many times you sold yourself for equipment. Piss off. Trash, I like it. What can you do about it? Oh shit, you bitch. Don't let me see you, or I'll tear you apart. Stop arguing. Didn't you guys realize that Beauty Alliance got a lot of benefits too? Oh shit, what's the use of that? Can you ascend now? F***ck, if I knew this would happen, I would have put in more effort and killed more monsters. I'm already a Saint General. Just a little bit more and I'll be able to reach the mortal evolution state. I'm an Emperor General, but I'm just 1 step away from becoming a Saint General. It's not that hard to reach the mortal evolution state. Unfortunately, I'm just 1 step away. Chaos World, 300,000 kilometers south of the Reincarnation Holy City. A colorful orb suddenly appeared, and the leader of Beauty Alliance, Li Mengyao, appeared here. After a brief moment of dizziness, Li Mengyao stood on the lush grassland and looked around vigilantly. Yi Chen had once warned Shao Chen that the great desolate world was filled with danger at every step. It was even crueler than the 3 kingdoms. Li Mengyao didn't dare to be careless. At this moment, orbs appeared around Li Mengyao one after another. Hu Xiaoye, Wang Mengmeng, Li Qian, and the others appeared one after another. Wow, the air here is so good. That's right. The spiritual energy here is really too abundant. Living in the great desolate world, even a pig can directly fly. Li Mengyao was surrounded by many girls. Not long after, the tens of thousands of Beauty Alliance players had successfully ascended. Hu Xiaoye stood beside Li Mengyao, unable to hide her excitement. She opened her mouth and asked, "Sister, now that we're all here, what should we do next?" Li Mengyao's phoenix eyes looked into the distance and said calmly, "First, we need to figure out where we are and then meet up with Master as soon as possible. Also, other than sending out 2 pairs of scouts to gather information, tell the sisters not to wander around." Yes. Hu Xiaoye immediately turned around and passed down Li Mengyao's order. At this moment, a cold and unpleasant voice that sounded like an iron shovel rubbing against an iron pot rang out. "Kiki, there are so many delicacies here. I'm really lucky today." As they spoke, a suffocating fishy smell assaulted their nostrils. Immediately after, a thick fog appeared around the Beauties Alliance, completely enveloping the grassland. Amidst the black fog, huge red lanterns could be vaguely seen. After Li Mengyao saw these things clearly, she felt her scalp go numb, and a chill rushed from her feet to her head. These weren't red lanterns, they were pairs of blood-red eyes. They were surrounded by a group of terrifying wolf demons. Li Mengyao pulled out her long sword and yelled, "Formation! Prepare for battle!" The tens of thousands of players from the Beauties Alliance weren't afraid. From noobs to mortal evolution states, they had experienced countless bloody battles. Their mental fortitude had long been honed. At this moment, 18 huge figures slowly emerged from the fog. They were terrifying monsters with wolf heads and human bodies. One of the wolf demons released its chi without restraint. Smelly saliva kept dripping from the corner of its mouth. It studied the Beauties Alliance players greedily and laughed strangely. They're the most delicious young female cultivators of the human race. Not only can we have a good meal, but we can also sell the rest to those pig demons as furnaces. We can definitely sell them for a good price." Hu Xiaoye and the others turned pale. She bit her lips and said, "Damn it, it's a shape-shifting monster." The war was about to begin. In the reincarnation dynasty, Yi Chen, who had just successfully become a heaven immortal, also noticed the announcements on the World Channel. He smiled. The Beauties' Alliance was here too. Li Mengyao was still as meticulous as before. She waited until he got the first prize before all of them ascended. At this moment, Li Mengyao's urgent voice could be heard. "Master, we're surrounded by a group of wolf demons. We don't know how many mortal evolution state wolves there are, but there are 18 shape-shifting demon kings. I'm afraid we won't be able to hold on." Yi Chen's eyes flashed coldly. He said, "Don't worry, tell me where you are." "We don't know. This seems to be a plain, but it's shrouded in fog." "Hold on, I'll be there soon." Yi Chen hung up the call. With a thought, he released his vast spiritual consciousness. In the blink of an eye, it covered an area of 20 million miles. In the next second, Yi Chen's eyes widened. Bastards of the demon race, how dare they touch anyone's people? When he thought of this, Yi Chen took a step forward and disappeared. 300,000 kilometers south of the reincarnation sacred city, the space suddenly twisted. Then, Yi Chen took a step and appeared here. At the same time, a wolf demon appeared in front of Li Mengyao in an instant. Its palm, which was the size of a wheel, grabbed at her directly. Li Mengyao yelled, "Die, beast!" A cold light flashed and the air exploded. The sword in her hand pierced forward like a dragon. Li Mengyao's sword had reached its peak in both speed and angle. Like an antelope hanging by its horns, it was nowhere to be found. Pooh! The sword accurately pierced the wolf demon's wrist, but it couldn't go any further. "Woman, are you tickling me?" The wolf monster smiled ferociously and continued to claw at Li Mengyao. Li Mengyao laughed bitterly in her heart. She didn't expect to die in the wolf's mouth right after ascending. Hu Xiaoye and the others were furious, but it was too late to save her. Besides, the other wolf demons couldn't wait to pounce. They couldn't even take care of themselves. Li Mengyao closed her eyes and waited for death, but nothing happened. She opened her eyes and saw an unforgettable scene. The wolf demon's house-sized head was pierced through by a spear. The Godslayer's spear protruded out of the wolf's mouth, dripping blood. Yi Chen's figure slowly came out. His cold voice echoed, "How dare you touch my woman? You're courting death." Chapter 13-16. Master. When Li Mengyao was in despair, she suddenly saw Yi Chen appear out of nowhere and kill the demonic wolf with lightning speed. She immediately cried out in pleasant surprise. God Yi waved his hand, and the huge body of the wolf demon fell to the ground. The women from the Beauty Alliance felt the ground tremble. Although there were ferocious wolf demons outside, they didn't care at all. They weren't afraid at all. They all looked at Yi Chen with fervor. "Master, you're here!" "Master, if you came a little later, I wouldn't have been able to see you again." Yi Chen smiled and said, "Okay, these ugly things scared you. Let's get rid of these animals first, then we can catch up." Howl, howl, at this moment, countless angry howls could be heard from all directions. Among them, there were 17 mountain-like figures that stepped out from the thick fog. One of the wolf demons gritted its teeth and roared furiously, "Damn ants, how dare you sneak attack the leader of the wolf race? You should be torn into pieces." "That's right, leave this damn insect to me. I'm going to eat him as a snack." A cold glint flashed across Yi Chen's eyes. His gaze quickly swept across the 17 shape-shifting demonic wolves. With his eyesight, he could easily see that these shape-shifting demonic wolves were just some small demonic beasts, which were equivalent to the Violet Mansion realm of the human race. Li Mengyao, Hu Xiaoye, and Wang Mengmeng were all mortal evolution states. It would indeed be difficult for them to deal with them. However, the wolf demons hidden in the mist were much weaker. Some of them weren't even mortal evolution states. Yi Chen asked coldly, "Since you animals can talk, then let me ask you, how many wolves are there in the entire Silvermoon grassland?" One of the shape-shifting wolf demons suddenly laughed wildly. "Haha, damned reptile, are you afraid? There's no harm in telling you. Our Silvermoon wolf race alone has 80 million wolves in the entire grassland. You're not even enough to fill the gaps between our teeth." Unexpectedly, Yi Chen raised his head and looked at the starry sky. After calculating for a while, he murmured, 80 million wolf demons is a little small, but we can only make do with it." Seeing that Yi Chen wasn't scared, the shape-shifting wolf demon roared furiously, "Damn insect, what are you talking about? Hurry up and kneel on the ground and beg for mercy. Although I won't let you go, I can let you die a quick death." Yi Chen shook his head. "You animals talk too much. I said it before, you dare to bully my woman. You deserve death." As soon as he said that, the soul-devouring spear in Yi Chen's hand suddenly flew out like a black light flashing in the air. Before the wolf demon could react, the soul-devouring spear had already pierced through his body. He lowered his head and looked at his chest. There was a transparent hole the size of a basin. The place where his heart used to be was empty. In an instant, his heart had already been pierced into pieces by the soul-devouring spear. The wolf demon roared in despair, took 2 steps forward, and finally fell to the ground. It twitched twice unwillingly and then breathed its last. However, the soul-devouring spear didn't stop. Instead, it continued to shuttle through the thick fog like lightning. In just a breath's time, the other 16 shape-shifting wolves all froze. Blood flowed out of their chests. They suffered the same fate as the previous shape-shifting wolf demon. Their chests were all pierced through by the soul-devouring spear. These 16 shape-shifting wolf demons did not even have the chance to unleash their aura or attack before they were slaughtered by Yi Chen, as if they were little chicks without being able to put up any resistance. Hu Xiaoye, Wang Mengmeng, and the others immediately clapped and cheered. "Master is amazing! He's so mighty and domineering! These damn wolves are all brainless idiot. How dare they mess with Master? Aren't they asking for death? I don't care. Master is the most handsome. Long live Master!" At this moment, the soul-devouring spear had returned to Yi Chen's hand. There wasn't a single drop of blood on the spear. Yi Chen smiled. "Okay, I've dealt with these 18 most troublesome shape-shifting wolves for you guys. However, there are still nearly 100,000 ordinary wolves that haven't reached the mortal evolution state. I'll let you guys deal with them. I'll give you guys an hour. Don't disappoint me." Next, Yi Chen abruptly blew out a breath of air and a gust of wind blew past. The strange fog that had enveloped the area dissipated into thin air, revealing a dense horde of wolf yaos. When Li Mengyao and the others heard Yi Chen's words, it was as though they were injected with chicken blood. Li Mengyao shouted, "Sisters of the Beauty Alliance, our master is watching over us right now. He wants to see our strength, so we can't disappoint him. Let him see that we Sisters of the Beauty Alliance are all good. The title of Flower Vase will never belong to us. Long live Master! Long live the Beauty Alliance! These ugly wolf demons are all experience points. Sisters, kill them!" In an instant, the 10,000 female players of Beauty's Alliance gathered their morale and charged at the demonic wolves. Although these wolf demons had yet to reach the shape-shifting stage, they were still intelligent. Just now, when they saw the man in front of them descend from the thick fog, he easily killed 18 of their little demon leaders. These seemingly weak and delicate women seemed to have been injected with chicken blood after this man appeared. Now, they were like tigresses, baring their fangs and claws as they charged at them. These wolves even felt a chill in their hearts. Their legs trembled and they wanted to turn around and run. But some wolves angrily roared, "Cowards! What are you afraid of? It's just 10,000 ants. Our masters were accidentally ambushed by this damned human. But we have 100,000 companions. What are we afraid of? Kill them all and avenge our masters. Then, the 100,000 wolves suddenly woke up. That's right. We have 100,000 brothers. How can we be afraid of a mere 10,000 humans? Then, the demonic wolves opened their bloody mouths and pounced on the female players of Beauty's alliance. The players of the Beauty Alliance had at least a full set of spiritual equipment. Li Mengyao, Hu Xiaoye, Wang Mengmeng and the others had attack-type treasures. Furthermore, they had the advantage in terms of cultivation. Coupled with the fact that they had been through hundreds of battles, apart from being flustered at the beginning, they soon found their footing. Streaks of sharp sword light flashed past, and the wolf demons in front of them were sent flying and fell to the ground like rolling gourds. Indeed, in the eyes of the Beauty's Alliance players, these wolf demons were experience points all over the ground. Although they were a bit ugly, in order to increase their strength and leave a good impression on Yi Chen, these delicate and tender female players all turned into beautiful Rakshasas. Chapter 13-17. Yi Chen hovered in the air, his enormous mental power enveloping the entire battlefield. Whenever a female player from Beauty Alliance fell into a disadvantageous position or was in mortal danger, he would lightly flick his finger. Instantly, a transparent energy flashed and the head of the wolf demon opposite the female player would explode. The female player had escaped death. She smiled sweetly, turned her head and said, "Thank you, master." She then turned around and charged back into the wolf pack. She reminded her sisters, "Sisters, kill as much as you want. Master will cover us from above." The female players from Beauty's Alliance went even crazier. Ever since they felt that Yi Chen was protecting them, they completely gave up on defense and used 12% of their strength to attack. They were simply a group of lawless lunatics who did not care for their own lives. Even the wolf demons were frightened by their desperation. Yi Chen shook his head speechlessly. Li Mengyao and the others were too stubborn. If he knew this would happen, he wouldn't have stayed. They were simply fearless. As a result, one after another, the heads of the wolf demons burst open and they died one after another. Some of the wolves were so angry that they lost their minds. They roared, "This isn't fair. You're cheating. If you have the guts, fight one-on-one." Hu Xiaoye sneered and mocked, "You animals must have a hole in your head. You have 100,000 wolves fighting 10,000 sisters, and you have the face to say it's not fair. Also, it's our husband who's protecting us. If you have the guts, go find your husband. We're F***king males." As their momentum wavered, the wolf demons were forced to flee pathetically. Some of the wolf demons even turned around and fled for their lives. If Yi Chen wanted to, none of the wolves would be able to escape. However, Yi Chen didn't stop them and allowed them to escape into the depths of the grassland. However, after a few dozen wolves escaped, Yi Chen made his move. Every wolf that tried to escape was killed with a single finger. Yi Chen's lips curled into a cold smile. "It's fine if a few of you are going to deliver the message. The rest of you should just obediently become nourishment for these women." The remaining wolves began to fight with all their might in despair. Their last-minute counterattack would have definitely killed some of the normal Beauty's Alliance players. However, with Yi Chen present, these wolves' efforts were futile. After an hour, there was not a single wolf left alive. Nearly 100,000 wolves lay dead in the wilderness. Their blood flowed like a river. As for the 10,000 Beauty's Alliance players, only a few of them had light injuries. The rest were practically unharmed. However, after a round of slaughter, the women of Beauty's Alliance were all covered in blood. Their beautiful eyes were filled with killing intent. However, after the slaughter, the first thing these women of Beauty's Alliance did wasn't to rest and recover their strength. They also didn't clean up the battlefield and count their spoils. Instead, they quickly took out a set of clean clothes from the channel. With a flash of light, their entire body looked brand new and spotless. Yi Chen shook his head. "It's a woman's nature to love beauty." He released his spiritual power to investigate. These wolf demons in the Chaos world were much more powerful than the demons in the Three Kingdoms world, and they contained more experience points. In the battle just now, Li Mengyao, Hu Xiaoye, Wang Mengmeng, and the others had killed the most monsters. They had obtained the most experience points and had improved the most. They had already vaguely touched the edge of the Violet Palace realm. It wouldn't take long for them to break through to the Violet Palace realm. Although the others didn't improve as quickly, their improvement was still very obvious. These wolves were very poor. They didn't have many decent spiritual equipment. The women on the battlefield curled their lips in disdain. However, it was better than nothing. They quickly looted the scattered equipment. Even if they brought it back to be used as materials, it wouldn't be bad. After cleaning up the battlefield, Yi Qin used Universe Creator and brought all the players of Beauty's Alliance with a gust of wind. They disappeared on the spot. Only corpses and bloodstains were left behind to tell the story of the tragic battle just now. In the next moment, Yi Qin brought them back to the sacred city of Samsara. Originally, Yi Qin had arranged for them to stay in the palace. However, he later gave up on the idea. It wasn't because he was afraid that Zhao Yu and the other women would be jealous. It was because these women of Beauty's Alliance were players. It was difficult for them to blend in with natives like Zhao Yu and the other women. In addition, these women of Beauty's Alliance were not only Yi Qin's women, but they were also excellent warriors. It wasn't appropriate for them to stay in the palace. Thus, Yi Qin decided to build a new city in the sacred city of Samsara. It would be the base of Beauty's Alliance. The new city was called Beauty's City. Under Yi Qin's control, 2 giant spirit gathering formations were set up in Beauty's City. The spirit energy in Beauty's City was 3 times denser than outside the city. It was 10 times denser than the Three Kingdoms. It was comparable to a cultivation holy land. Li Mengyao, Hu Xiaoye, and Wang Mengmeng were naturally very satisfied with their new base. Master, we miss you very much. Why don't you stay here tonight? Hu Xiaoye looked at Yi Qin with burning eyes. The other women were also eagerly waiting for Yi Qin's answer. Yi Qin gently knocked on Hu Xiaoye's head and said gently, I want to stay too. But after all, we are new here and haven't established a firm foothold in the untainted land. There are still a lot of things waiting for me to deal with. After this, I'll accompany you properly. Take a rest first. You'll be busy soon. After that, Yi Qin's figure flashed and appeared in the throne room. He sat on the dragon throne like a tiger crouching and a dragon coiling. His majestic voice resounded through the sacred city of Samsara, Dear ministers, come to the court quickly. After the order was given, the civil and military officials didn't dare to delay. They all hurried over and lined up on both sides. When everyone was present, Su Shu stepped out and bowed. Your Majesty, what can I do for you? Yi Qin looked at them and lifted the corners of his mouth, revealing a cold smile. Everyone, I'm afraid we can't continue to be at ease. We have something to do. Among the generals, Zhang Fei's eyes were wide open as he rubbed his hands excitedly. He stood up and shouted with a voice as loud as a bell. Your Majesty, is there going to be a war? Great. Haha, I'm so bored that I'm about to die. Let's make it clear that none of you will compete with me for the position of vanguard. Why? Su Chu roared and stood out. We're all so bored that our bones are itching. Why do you, a black charcoal head, want to be the vanguard? Because you're black? Chapter 13:18. Dian Wei laughed and said, Zhong Kong is right. The position of vanguard officials belongs to Lao Dian and Zhong Kong. Bastards, are you 2 brainless idiots trying to find fault with me? Being a vanguard official is a technical job. You need brains. Do you 2 have brains? Hearing this, Guojia, Su Shu, Jia Su and the others all nodded and smiled. Even Zhang Fei could use IQ to crush others. But when it came to IQ, who could be better than these old foxes? After watching enough, Yi Qin glared at his subordinates and said, Shut up. It's improper to quarrel like this. Don't worry, we don't need to fight for it this time. Everyone will have a share. Zhao Yun cupped his fists and asked, Your Majesty, where are we going to attack this time? Yi Chen shook his head and said, We're not going anywhere. We'll just wait in the sacred city of Samsara. If I'm not wrong, the enemy is already on their way. Yi Chen raised his voice and said, Don't worry. The untainted world is vast and boundless. Even if there are 10,000 three kingdoms in the untainted world, it's just a drop in the ocean. If we want to conquer the untainted world, there are countless battles waiting for us. What you need to worry about is not that there are no battles to fight, but that your strength can't keep up. My dear ministers, your cultivation is generally in the Purple Mansion realm. Maybe you're the top talents in the Three Kingdoms world, but in the untainted world, you're nothing. The Purple Mansion realm is just a starting point. Fairy Immortal, Golden Immortal, and Daluo Jinxian are our targets. Therefore, everyone, put away your pride and ignite your hot blood. Immediately prepare the army for war. My request is that all the invading enemies must be annihilated. Leave no one alive. Yes, Your Majesty. Yes, Your Majesty. Hearing Yi Chen's words, all the ministers and generals of the Samsara dynasty were excited and their blood was boiling. Yes, this was a new world, a bigger and more magnificent world than the Three Kingdoms world. See them and conquer them. For the first time, these peerless generals and ministers of the Three Kingdoms bared their fangs in the untainted world. Following Yi Chen's orders, the entire sacred city of Samsara began to move quickly. The Samsara Legion, the White Horse Righteous Song, and the other legions were mobilized to the city gates, ready to enter the battle at any time. On the Silver Moon grassland, which was 300,000 miles away from the sacred city of Samsara, gusts of evil wind were blowing. Mad roars and shrill howls could be heard everywhere. Countless Silvermoon Wolf Clan's demon wolves began to converge from all over the Silvermoon grassland towards the center. Most of the demon wolves had yet to transform, but they were much stronger than ordinary wild wolves. Even the most ordinary Silvermoon demon wolf was comparable to an adult male elephant. Moreover, they were faster and had sharper fangs. Some of the transformed demon wolves wore leather armor and held rusty weapons in their hands. The Silvermoon Wolf Clan's territory spanned tens of millions of miles, and they were at the bottom of the pack. The only thing that the Silvermoon Wolf Clan could rely on was their reproductive ability. If not for the fact that they were limited by their territory and could not raise too many people, the Silvermoon Wolf Clan's population would definitely be more than 80 million demon wolves. Their closest relative, the Golden Horned Wolf Clan, was also the overlord of tens of millions of miles. However, they were different. Their territory was huge, and they had plenty of resources. It was said that last year, their population had exceeded 600 million. It was simply incomparable. Most of the Silvermoon Wolf Clan's demon wolves had received the order to assemble today, but they did not know why. Some of the demon wolves were whispering, Do you know why we are assembling today? I just killed a female demon pig, but we are assembling before I can enjoy myself. Shut up. I heard that something big happened. 18 shape-shifting leaders were killed by human cultivators. They also used cruel methods to kill many of our brothers. Are you kidding me? Since when did the human race dare to provoke us? Haven't they always been our food? Kiki, the human race deserves to die. I think that the human race is a scourge. Sooner or later, we will kill and eat them all. The gathering of 80 million silver moon wolves was quite a spectacular sight. Within a radius of a few dozen miles, one could see countless silver moon wolves. One of the shape-shifting demon wolves held a spiritual tool-grade sound transmission device in his hand and roared, Brothers and sisters of the Silvermoon Wolf Clan, that damned human cultivator killed 100,000 of our brothers. Our scouts have found him. He is in a city 300,000 miles away. Let's go and kill them all. Roar. Following a series of roars, The innumerable wolf demons immediately rushed towards the holy city of Samsara like locusts passing through space. They blotted out the sky and covered the earth. If the Silvermoon Wolf clan wanted to attack the sacred city of reincarnation, they would have to pass through the territories of other demon tribes, including the Golden Horned Wolf clan. When the other demon tribes saw that the Silvermoon Wolf clan had turned out in full force, they became curious. After asking around, they found out that a human cultivator had killed 100,000 demon wolves. In the Eldritch world, the demon tribe was much more powerful than the human tribe. It was always the demon tribe that ate the human tribe. It was no wonder that the Silvermoon Wolf clan was going crazy when so many demon wolves were killed. There were also many busybodies among the demon tribes who followed behind the Silvermoon Wolf clan to watch the show. There were even more ferocious demon tribes who wanted to take advantage of the situation. After all, the human tribe cultivators were delicious supplements to them. I heard that the culprit this time was a big human tribe city that appeared out of nowhere. There seems to be a lot of people inside. This is going to be interesting. Let's go. If we break the human tribe city, we can also get some soup. That's right. I heard that the human tribe has many skilled craftsmen. If we can catch a few of them, we can sell them for a good price. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go. The sacred city of Samsara was fully prepared for battle. Under the cover of Yi Chen's immense spiritual power, he had already seen through the Silvermoon Wolf clan's movements. When he learned that the Silvermoon Wolf clan did not have any outstanding experts this time, Yi Chen was completely relieved. However, there were too many Silvermoon wolves. If they turned out in full force, the Samsara Legion and the White Horse Militia would be under great pressure. However, Yi Chen believed that they could survive. After all, with the leadership and command of these super-fierce generals and thousand-year-old foxes, it would be difficult for them to lose even if they wanted to. On the morning of the third day, the Silvermoon Wolf clan's army was less than 300 miles away from the sacred city of Samsara. Standing at the top of the city wall, one could see the endless clouds of dust on the horizon. The members of the Beauties Alliance also found Yi Chen and strongly requested to participate in the battle. Yi Chen only hesitated for a moment before he nodded in agreement. Thus, everyone rubbed their palms together and waited for the Silvermoon Wolf clan's arrival. Guan Yu, Zhao Yun, Zhang Liao, Gao Shun, and the other generals stood at the top of the city wall. Their eyes were cold as they looked at the black line that was slowly appearing in the distance and getting thicker and thicker. They all gripped their weapons tightly. Chapter 13-19. Zhao Yun, Tong Yuan, Ma Chao, Li Yuanba, Sun Tzu and the others didn't say anything, but all of them felt the same way. Just like in the throne room, Zhang Fei, Dian Wei, Su Chu and the others were fighting for the vanguard position. Just as Yi Chen had said, these people were all top talents in the world of the Three Kingdoms. But in this foreign world, they were only at the beginning of their journey. Yi Chen's cultivation level was about to break through to the Sky Immortal Realm while they were still at the Violet Palace Realm. There were Nirvana Realm, Immortal Foundation Realm, God Martial Realm, and so on between the Sky Immortal Realm and Sky Immortal Realm. It was fine if nothing happened during normal times, but if danger really came, wouldn't they become Yi Chen's burden? As proud as Guan Yu and the others were, how could they allow such a situation to happen? Every one of them held back their energy and wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to chase after His Majesty courageously and shorten the distance between them and him. Otherwise, they could only look up to him in the future. As the saying goes, an army of 10,000 is boundless. The sight of 80 million demon wolves was even more terrifying. They were so dense that they couldn't see the end, as if they were connected to the horizon. Just like that, a monstrous murderous aura swept over like a raging sea, wanting to completely drown the sacred city of Samsara that stood on the desolate land. Guofengxiao, Jia Su, and the rest stood on top of the city wall, gazing into the distance, and said solemnly, inform the legions not to panic. His Majesty's Saint's city of Samsara cannot be breached. This time, we will make use of the defenses of Saint's city of Samsara to deplete their forces. Not to mention 80 million wolf demons. Even if a few more 80 million wolf demons come, we will make sure they are all dead. Guofeng Xiao and Jia Su felt helpless. One of them was called a demon genius, while the other was called a poison warrior. In such an earth-shattering battle, they were actually unable to display their stratagems and strategies. The main reason was that Yi Chen's sacred city of Samsara was too powerful. Not to mention the ordinary demon wolves, the strongest ones were only small and great demons. Even a group of demon kings might not be able to break through the defense of the sacred city. If they could still lose in such a battle, then these top strategists could just slit their own throats and be done with it. The vanguard of the Silvermoon Wolf clan had already seen the majestic city in the distance. He roared excitedly, "You scoundrels, idiots, lowlifes, show me! The human city was right in front of them. Don't fight with me, I want 300 female slaves to warm my bed. Haha, you filthy pervert! You'll die on the white bellies of those human women sooner or later. I have many desires. I just want to take a bite of those white and tender children. It's simply incomparably delicious. Stop talking nonsense, these humans aren't simple. Don't let them chop your heads off. Idiot, are you joking? We have 80 million wolf brothers. Even if each of us pees, we can drown this human city. Ha ha ha, you're right. You idiots, hurry up and kill." The Samsara Corps, White Horse Righteous Song, and the other large corps were already standing on the city walls. Every warrior had a cold look in their eyes. They had already grasped the spiritual bow in their hand. Smoke and dust covered the sun, and waves rose to the sky. The army of the wolf tribe was getting closer and closer. It was as if they could topple the mountains and overturn the seas. The warriors standing on the city walls could even see the stinky saliva in the mouths of the terrifying wolf tribe. Their white fangs were shining with a cold light that made one's heart palpitate. "Everyone, listen up. Archers, get ready." The soldiers of the Samsara Corps and the White Horse Righteous Song drew their bows and knocked their arrows without any hesitation. Their spirit tool-level bows were pulled back to the shape of a full moon. The arrows, glittering with cold light, were pointed at the sky at a 45-degree angle. Every warrior's hand was as steady as a rock. They had followed Yi Chen and experienced hundreds of battles. It could be said that every one of them was a veteran of hundreds of battles. The wolf demons were already within 1,000 feet of the sacred city of Samsara. One could even smell the stench coming from their bodies. The cold wind was like a knife, and the setting sun was like blood. The eyes of these wolf-kind warriors turned red when they saw those human warriors on the city walls. They roared crazily, "It's getting late. Everyone, work harder. The first one who rushes onto the city wall will be the first warrior of our wolf-kind. Tonight, we'll sleep on the white bellies of those human women." Ha 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 ha. The werewolves' faces were as ferocious as evil spirits. Countless werewolves advanced wildly. They let out deep and hoarse roars. They were filled with murderous intent and madness. Their eyes were fixed on the city walls of the sacred city. Their eyes were red like mad dogs. In the eyes of these demonic wolves, it was as if they could see the sacred city of Samsara being conquered by them. These demonic wolves were extremely ferocious. As long as the sacred city of Samsara was conquered by them, no one would be left alive. Behind the werewolves, there were nosy people and onlookers from various factions. They were all from the demon race. There were demons from the 72 caves and also demons from the 36 peak. They wanted to take advantage of the situation. Once the demon race breached the city, they would also go in and plunder. Anyway, their forces were much stronger than the werewolves. The werewolves did not dare to make a sound. One of the black tiger demons sneered and said, "These humans are finished. They dare to provoke us demons. It's time to teach them a lesson. Don't you think it's strange? The land within a radius of several thousand miles belongs to our demon clan. How could a human city appear out of thin air? Where did they come from? Now that you mention it, I seem to remember that the sky was covered with dark clouds a few days ago. That terrifying thunder tribulation seems to have come from this place. Could it be that the terrifying tribulation transcending tribulation expert is one of the experts in this human city? As soon as these words were spoken, the expressions of the members of the demon race changed drastically. The horrifying scene of Yi Chen's tribulation that day was deeply imprinted in their minds. The lightning that covered the sky and covered the earth, as if it was the end of the world, continuously bombarding the area. They were so frightened that they fled far away, not daring to come over to investigate. The thunder tribulation stage was at least at the level of a golden immortal breaking through to the Daluo Jinxian. If this human city really had a golden immortal or a Daluo Jinxian in charge, then these werewolves were really going to kick an iron plate. Chapter 1320. At this time, Ruerue, a black hawk the size of a house, said uneasily, "Let's not scare ourselves first. Maybe everyone guessed wrong. It's just a terrifying master who passed by here and left after the tribulation." A fat pig demon hurriedly chimed in, "That's right, that's right. That must be it. Ha ha. How could a puny human race have such a terrifying expert? Later on, when we break into the city, I must find these greedy wolf race, and buy thousands of human women. I hope they are not too greedy." At this time, Yi Chen was sitting in the throne room. He did not need to go to the top of the city wall to supervise the battle. He believed that such a small scene could be handled by his strategists and fierce generals. Moreover, Yi Chen's enormous mental energy had already enveloped the entire battlefield. Not a single change could escape his mental perception. He even heard the conversation of these demons clearly. The corners of Yi Chen's mouth curled into a sneer. He looked at his attribute board and saw that he still had a huge amount of innate attribute points that had not been used yet. If he used up all these innate attribute points, he would at least have no problem breaking through to the gold immortal realm. But Yi Chen was not in a hurry to break through now. Maybe when he broke through, it would bring some surprises to some people. Guan Yu stood on the city wall. His long and narrow eyes exuded endless murderous intent. He raised his hand high and finally waved it. "Release the arrows." The Samsara Legion soldiers finally heard the order to release the arrows. For a moment, they released the bowstrings in their hands at the same time. Suddenly, millions of sharp arrows soared into the sky, forming a dense dark cloud. They whistled shrilly in the sky and covered the heads of the wolves like a storm. Then, they pounced on the wolves with sharp laughter. Instantly, countless wolf beasts, who were wearing simple leather armors and had not even transformed, were pierced through by the sharp arrows. Countless wolf beasts howled and fell to the ground. Some wolf beasts were even pierced through by dozens of arrows and nailed to the ground. There were also some wolf demons whose forelegs were pierced through, and they rolled all the way to the ground. Before they could get up, they were trampled into a pile of mud by the army of wolf demons that swarmed up from behind. More wolf demons were hit by arrows, and their bodies were bleeding profusely as they kept howling in pain. This sudden turn of events immediately startled the demons, who were about to take advantage of the situation. They even involuntarily retreated a few hundred meters, far away from the range of the arrows. My God! How can there be such terrifying bows and arrows? The ordinary soldiers in this human city are all equipped with spirit tier bows and arrows. This is too extravagant, too much. No matter how you look at it, I'm still an ambitious and ruthless person, but I don't even have a decent spiritual weapon in my hands. Yet, they're actually equipping every ordinary soldier with them. This is simply outrageous. A black bear demon said with greedy saliva dripping from the corner of his mouth, "You bunch of cowardly rats, if you're afraid, then hurry up and scram. This old bear wants to stay. If nothing unexpected happens, This human city is overflowing with wealth. The demon generals present exchanged glances and continued to stay unwillingly. After some calculations, they quickly reported the situation to their superiors. This was a city filled with money. Even the ordinary soldiers were equipped with spirit-level weapons. Weren't the weapons in the hands of the stern-looking generals standing at the very front of the city magic treasure-level weapons? It was simply unimaginable. If this city was breached, how many magic treasures and spiritual weapons would there be? Therefore, they all called for their comrade. Countless demons quickly gathered here. Everyone had their own plans. First, they would use the wolves as cannon fodder. When the battle was about to end, they would go and take advantage of the situation. The Samsara Legion only fired a volley, but at least hundreds of thousands of wolves were killed. Even so, it was still unable to stop the wolves from advancing. Ready, fire the arrows. However, before these demon wolves could catch their breaths, the second round of arrows arrived. Millions of sharp arrows rained down like endless raindrops. The sharp arrows mercilessly pierced through the bodies of the wolf demons. Even the wolf demons who were in the shape-shifting stage and wearing simple leather armor found that these arrows were actually spirit tool level. The arrows were not something their simple leather armor could defend against. Every volley of arrows took the lives of hundreds of thousands of wolves. This was only the ordinary soldiers. Guan Yu, Zhao Yun, Zhang Fei, and the other generals also used their own methods. They stood at the forefront of the city wall. The longsword in their hands was a magic treasure, and they used the green essence sword art. Long-range sword chi cut through the air, each attack taking the lives of a group of wolves. Compared to these generals, Guojia, Pang Tong, Jia Su, and Su Shu used the Chaos Talisman. They were like old immortals, casting talismans without the slightest hint of smoke or fire. When these talismans landed among the wolves, they immediately caused violent explosions. Severed limbs flew all over the place. These wolf demons were immediately blown up and cried for their parent. The 10,000 female players from the Beauties Alliance also obtained Yi Chen's approval and took up a position on the city walls. They also had spirit-grade bows in their hand. They didn't fire in unison like the Samsara Legion, but instead shot freely. The wolf demons below were simply too densely packed. They didn't even need to aim. Any random shot would hit a wolf demon. Every female player of Beauty's Alliance pursed their lips and didn't say a word. Their shooting speed wasn't much slower than the elite warriors of the Samsara Legion. Every female player knew that standing on top of the city walls and shooting arrows was a rare and precious opportunity. After all, standing on top of the city walls was the same as standing beside Yi Chen. They didn't have to worry about the wolf demons hurting them. The only thing they had to do was increase their shooting speed and snatch the experience points. After paying the price of millions of wolf demons, these wolf demons finally reached the bottom of the city walls of Samsara. Their eyes were red with madness. Revenge, they had to take revenge. This time, so many of their kind had died. And so, the wolves began to climb with all their might. The shape-shifting wolves waved their heavy weapons and began to attack the city wall. With their strength, a normal city wall would be smashed into pieces with a single strike. But this city wall only needed a few dozen strikes to create a large hole. Chapter 13:21. But at this moment, something even more despairing happened. Those wolf demons who wanted to climb the city wall suddenly found that the wall of the sacred city of Samsara was as smooth as a mirror. Their sharp claws scratched the wall without any resistance. No matter how hard they struggled, they couldn't climb up even a little bit. And when those wolf demons in the shape-shifting stage smashed their heavy hammers on the sacred city of Samsara, they suddenly felt a layer of transparent shield on the surface of the city. When the hammers came down, a powerful rebound force came, and the hammers bounced back at a faster speed than when they came. The hammers hit the wolf demon's head heavily, and his head was instantly smashed into pieces. Red and white matter splattered all over the ground. What happened here made all the wolf demons suck in a breath of cold air. Scram, a bunch of trash! More than a dozen wolf demons in the shape-shifting stage didn't believe it. They rushed up and waved their heavy maces, heaven-splitting axes, bronze hammers, and other weapons in their hands. They worked together and viciously smashed the city walls. Boom! After a loud bang, they tumbled dozens of meters away like the wolf demons before, smashing into the wolf demons behind them. The scene was in a mess. When they finally got up, they found that their hands were cracked and bleeding. As for the warriors of the Samsara Legion and the White Horse Righteous Song, they wouldn't slow down their attack just because of the wolf demon's setback. A massive amount of arrows still poured down like a storm, covering the sky and covering the earth. The air was filled with crisscrossing sharp arrows. With every wave of arrow rain, countless wolf demons screamed and fell to the ground. After a series of killings, some people had already advanced. They were the strategists who used chaos talismans to kill the wolf demons in a large area. Tianfeng, Guojia, Chen Kun, Pang Tong, Jia Su, and the others emitted a bright light one after another. Then their bodies shook, and their auras were completely different. At this moment, they all broke through the Purple Mansion realm and officially entered the Nirvana realm. Guojia laughed loudly, and the range of the chaos talismans in his hand increased. As long as he attacked, hundreds of wolf demons would be blown to smithereens. Seeing this, the fierce generals were rather envious. They brandished their magic treasure-level swords even faster, constantly sending out dazzling sword chi, slaughtering the wolf demons below the city wall. It didn't take long for Guan Yu to enter the Nirvana realm, followed by Zhang Fei, Zhao Yun, Dian Wei, Zhang Liao, Gao Shun, Gan Ning, Lu Jin, Sun Jian, Sun Su, Ma Chao, and the others. Feeling the surging power in their bodies, these valiant generals laughed heartily on the city wall. Zhang Fei roared even louder, "Damned beast, come at me. I'm in the mood to kill. 80 million is too little. I'm afraid it won't be enough for Grandpa to kill." The players from Beauty's Alliance were in a similar situation. Li Mengyao, Hu Xiaoye, and Wang Mengmeng were already at the peak of the mortal evolution state. Finally, after shooting out a long arrow and killing a wolf demon, Li Mengyao's body flashed with a rainbow-colored radiance as she officially advanced to the Purple Mansion realm. Following behind her, Hu Xiaoye, Wang Mengmeng, and the others also gradually advanced. Hu Xiaoye and Wang Mengmeng were excited to the point of jumping for joy, and they shouted in a delicate voice, "Sisters, let's work harder and strive to advance to the Violet Palace realm this time. This is simply a rare opportunity." The other female players from Beauty's Alliance were envious, and they replied, "Don't worry, sisters, we'll be there soon." After another 15 minutes, some of the female players from Beauty's Alliance started to glow. Some of them were starting to evolve. The elite soldiers from the Samsara Legion and the White Horse Legion were not to be outdone. Those outstanding Kiliarchs and Centurions had all reached the Purple Mansion state. When the soldiers from the sacred city of Samsara began to advance collectively, their attacks became sharper, and the death rate of the wolf demons doubled. In just half an hour, the number of wolf demons that died around the sacred city of Samsara had exceeded 50 million. Corpses were strewn all over the battlefield, and blood flowed like a river. The corpses of the wolf demons were piled up in a thick layer. Just looking at them would make one's scalp tingle. The sacred city of Samsara was like a huge meat grinder, coldly and mercilessly standing there. No matter how many wolves there were, they were only there to add oil to the fire. Even if all the wolf demons in the entire primordial world were gathered here, it wouldn't be enough to fill this bottomless abyss. When they saw the blood flowing like rivers and corpses strewn all over the battlefield, no matter how slow these wolf leaders were, they realized that something was wrong. They roared crazily, "Damn trash, idiot! Stop attacking immediately. I don't know what method this shameless human used, but that city is clearly a terrifying primordial spirit treasure. We can't break his defense at all. Retreat immediately." We'll think of another way after we leave this place. The leader of the wolf beasts reacted, but the intelligence of the ordinary wolf beasts wasn't that high. They were still madly rushing forward. When they heard the order, the wolf beasts in front of them desperately retreated. Suddenly, the two sides collided, forming a pot of porridge. The wolf demons cursed and tore at each other. The wolf demons in front of them had already felt the horror of death. In order to escape, they didn't hesitate to kill the wolf demons in front of them cruelly. The werewolves were entangled here, but they did not know that they were one step closer to death. The rain of arrows that filled the sky poured down again, completely covering this area. The sound of countless sharp arrows piercing through flesh, the sound of blood splattering, and the miserable howls of the werewolves before they died formed a noisy symphony. These wolf leaders were about to go crazy. While cursing, they directly chopped off the heads of those who reacted the most violently and killed the most of their own kind. Only then did all the wolf leaders realize what was going on. Simultaneously, they turned around and fled crazily at a speed faster than when they came. Yi Chen, who was sitting in the throne room, sneered, "These bastards are not slow to react. However, my sacred city of Samsara is not a place where you can come and go as you please. Send the order immediately, attack with full force." Following Yi Chen's order, all the gates of the sacred city of Samsara were opened. The Samsara Legion, the White Horse Righteousness, and the Formation Breaker were led by Dian Wei, Guan Yu, Zhao Yun, Gao Shun, Zhang Liao, and the others. They rushed out like fierce tigers released from their cages, chasing after the wolf demons crazily. Chapter 13:22. The iron hooves of the Samsara core and the millions of white horse righteous followers slammed against the ground. It was as if thunder had come from the horizon, or as if a flood had come from hell. With a crazy aura that could crush everything, as if the heavens and earth were collapsing, they poured down towards the wolf demons that filled the mountains. The soldiers from the Samsara Legion and the White Horse Legion were at their peak. The sound of their hooves was like thunder, shattering the dust in the sky. They charged into the wolf demons like a flood of steel and started a bloody massacre. The leader of the wolf demons, who was running away, turned around and saw that the sacred city of Samsara had opened all 4 gates and sent out soldiers to chase after them. He was stunned for a moment. Then, he revealed a ferocious smile and roared crazily, "These damned humans! If they hid in that thick turtle shell, we could not do anything to them. How dare they be so arrogant and come out to chase after us? You are courting death. All the children of the wolf clan, turn around and tear these damned people to shreds." At the same time, the beast race who were watching the show became restless. Among them, the bear demon sneered and said, "Hee, these humans are too arrogant. If they were to hide inside, then the wolf race wouldn't be able to do anything to them. But they actually came out. Aren't they courting death?" The pig demon laughed excitedly, "Seniors, let's not stay here and do nothing. Since the city gates are already open, if we don't go in now, when will we? Yes, no matter. Let's charge in and snatch the best things first." In an instant, tens of thousands of demon clan members who were watching the commotion unleashed their abhijna and attacked the sacred city of Samsara. At this moment, Jia Su was on the city wall. When he saw a strange group of wolf demons charging towards them, he immediately waved his flag. Zhang Fei and Su Chu led a team and charged towards the wolf demons. Zhang Fei held the serpent spear in front of his chest and laughed maniacally. "Where do you think you're going? You'll have to get past me, Zhang Fei." Su Chu roared impatiently, "Ida, don't waste your breath on these beasts. Let's kill them first." Su Chu and Zhang Fei immediately led their subordinates and charged forward. Both Zhang Fei and Su Chu were now in the Nirvana realm. After their cultivation had increased, these 2 warriors who were born with divine strength became even more ferocious. A set of spirit armor-grade armor completely covered the 2 of them, leaving only a pair of cold eyes. The two of them were like human-shaped monsters as they suddenly charged into the ranks of the demon race. The dozens of wolf demons in front of them were directly blasted into pieces by Zhang Fei and Su Chu. The bear demon roared angrily, "Damn humans, I'll deal with you." This bear demon was about 3 feet tall. It was like a moving mountain as it charged towards Zhang Fei and Su Chu. Zhang Fei laughed maniacally. Like a demon, he didn't even try to dodge as he clashed with the bear demon. After a loud noise, the bear demon was sent flying by Zhang Fei. It crashed heavily on the ground. The bear demon struggled to get up. All of its bones were shattered in the collision just now. Zhang Fei didn't even bother to look at the bear demon. Zhang Fei's eyes lit up as he looked at the bear demon. Zhang Fei caught up and raised the serpent spear in his hand, smashing the bear demon's head into pieces. At this moment, Su Chu had already stopped in front of a pig demon. Feeling the monstrous killing intent from Su Chu, the pig demon was so scared that his legs were trembling. He said in a threatening manner, "What do you want? I'm warning you, don't mess around. I'm from the Dark Wind Cave. If you provoke me, you won't be able to bear the consequences." Unfortunately, Su Chu only snorted. He didn't even have the mood to talk nonsense with the pig demon. He directly chopped down with his saber and cut the pig demon in half. Su Chu shook off the blood on his saber and said to Zhang Fei, "Ida, let's have a competition and see who can kill more beasts in the end." Zhang Fei laughed and said, "No problem, that's exactly what I want." Following that, the two of them charged into the group of demons like crazy humanoid demons and unleashed a frenzied massacre. This was only a typical example. Such situations could be found everywhere on the battlefield. For example, Li Yuanbao waved the thunder drum hammer in his hand. As long as the wolf demons dared to come close, they would all be smashed into pieces. Sun Jian and Sun Su were the same. They led an army and shuttled through the wolf demons like a sharp knife. Wherever they passed, the wolf demons would be beheaded. At this moment, the wolf demons had already turned around under the command of their leaders. They fiercely rushed towards the Samsara Legion and the White Horse. The commander of the Samsara Legion, Dian Wei, didn't panic at all. Although the Samsara Legion only had 4 million elite soldiers, there were at least 20 million wolf demons remaining. However, this was the holy city of Samsara. The experienced soldiers didn't panic at all. Dian Wei let out an earth-shattering roar, "White Tiger Battle Formation, activate!" In an instant, all the elite soldiers of the Samsara Legion simultaneously activated the terrifying White Tiger Battle Formation. Everyone's energy condensed and formed a huge image in the sky above the Samsara Legion. Gradually, the image solidified. It was actually a gigantic white tiger that was several thousand feet long. Every single hair on this gigantic white tiger could be seen clearly, as if they were real. Then, it let out an earth-shattering roar. A red ball of light the size of a wheel shot out from the white tiger's mouth and directly shot into the group of wolf demons that had just gathered in front of it. With a bang, thousands of wolf demons were blown to pieces in an instant. Then, the huge white tiger leaped into the air and jumped into the group of wolf demons to kill them crazily. The white tiger's body was too big. Every time it attacked, every time it bit, thousands of wolf demons would die in the tiger's mouth. In fact, the white tiger didn't kill much. The key was that the psychological pressure was too great. When the white tiger appeared, the wolf demon's mentality collapsed. Some wolf demons even trembled and said, "Why? Why did the white tiger immortal appear among the humans? Isn't the white tiger immortal from our demon clan?" Just when all the wolf demons were trembling with fear, the last straw that broke the camel's back appeared, and that was the white horse Righteous Tsong's side. Following Zhao Yun's command, he immediately deployed the Azure Dragon Battle Formation. Suddenly, a giant green dragon that was 10,000 meters long appeared out of thin air. After the Azure Dragon appeared, it was as if a divine dragon had descended to the world. Countless azure wind blades shot out from its mouth. Each wind blade was over 2 meters long. They whistled as they spun, cutting countless wolf demons in half. Chapter 13:23. The werewolf tribe immediately collapsed. They screamed and fled frantically. No matter how the leaders of the werewolf tribe commanded, they could not do anything. Seeing that the situation was hopeless, the leaders of the werewolf tribe shook their heads and sighed. They quickly joined the fleeing team. The Samsara Legion and the White Horse Cavalry began a bloody massacre behind them under the leadership of all the valiant generals. There was no suspense in the following battle. The werewolves were scared out of their wit. They did not have the courage to continue fighting. They only wished that their parents had given them 2 more legs to run for their lives. The various legions of the Reincarnation dynasty followed closely behind and killed them quickly. Blood splattered everywhere. Broken limbs flew all over the place. Mournful screams resounded in the air. The entire battlefield had turned into a slaughterhouse. Guan Yu, Dian Wei, and the others were cold-blooded butchers. These valiant generals were naturally very familiar with such battles. With their powerful mobility, they quickly divided the entire battlefield and blocked the escaping werewolves in one area after another. Then, they turned back and killed them all. Ah, I hate it. Dian Wei stepped on a werewolf tribe leader. As he struggled desperately, the dark steel double halberds smashed his head without hesitation. At this point, the 80 million werewolves were completely annihilated. Dian Wei raised the dark steel double halberds that were stained with blood. His hair and beard stood on end. He roared like a demon god, "We won! We won!" Zhang Fei, Su Chu, and the other generals roared in anger. At this moment, the world announcement that had been silent for a long time sounded again. Congratulations to player Yi Chen. The first monster siege has ended. The defense of the city is successful. You have successfully eliminated 80 million werewolves. You are rewarded with 100,000 innate attribute points, 10 million high-grade immortal stones, and 100,000 supreme-grade immortal stones. Congratulations to all players of the Beauty Alliance. You have assisted the Reincarnation Dynasty in successfully defending the city. You are rewarded with 10,000 innate attribute points, 100,000 high-grade immortal stones, and 10,000 supreme-grade immortal stones. This time, the world announcement was made 3 times in a row. Such a world announcement could only be seen by players. The players in the beginners' regions of the 3 kingdoms had also seen it. Immediately, they were dumbfounded. Oh my god, Yi Chen has only ascended for a few days, but he has already successfully defended the city and killed 80 million monsters. He's too awesome. That's why we call him God Yi. He's not someone we can imagine. I'm most jealous of those women from Beauty Alliance. Aren't they just riding on Yi Chen's coattails? The gap between us and them is getting bigger and bigger. I wonder if Yi Chen likes men. If he does, I'm willing to do it too. Die, you pervert. It only took 4 hours to kill all 80 million demonic wolves. However, it took more than 6 hours to clean up the battlefield. The demonic wolves were scattered across a large area. The warriors didn't return to Samsara City until they were done. This was the Samsara Legion's first battle after arriving in the Eldritch world. It ended with a complete victory. This battle was very meaningful to the entire Reincarnation dynasty. They had also witnessed the cruelty of battle. The Eldritch world was indeed much more dangerous than the 3 Kingdoms world. In fact, everyone, including the warriors below, the top strategists, and the peerless generals, knew very well that they were able to achieve such a smooth victory mainly because they had the impenetrable sacred city of Samsara. They used the advantage of the spiritual weapons and arrows at the beginning to kill more than half of the demonic wolves. If they had used the Samsara Legion and the White Horse righteous followers to fight head-on from the beginning, it would have been a tragic victory even if they won. At least half of the Samsara Legion's warriors would have died. However, these demonic wolves were very poor. After killing 80 million demonic wolves and tens of thousands of demonic wolves who came to watch the show, they only received 1 million upper-grade spiritual stones. Most of them were provided by the demonic wolves who came to watch the show. These demonic wolves were very poor. In comparison, it was gratifying to see that almost all the warriors and generals of the Samsara Legion had leveled up. Now, almost all the low-level warriors had leveled up to the Violet Mansion realm, while the generals had all leveled up to the Nirvana realm. All the players of the Beauties Alliance had also leveled up to the Violet Mansion realm. This made them very excited. In the throne room, Yi Chen sat on the dragon throne while the civil and military officials stood on both sides. At this moment, Su Shu stood up, clasped his hands together and bowed. He said, "Your Majesty, this time, the Reincarnation Dynasty was able to achieve victory and wipe out all the demonic wolves because of Your Majesty's contribution. We have discussed for a while, and the demonic wolves won't invade us in the near future. However, now that almost all the demonic wolves in the Silvermoon Prairie have been killed by us, the millions of miles of land on the prairie is now ownerless. Logically speaking, it should belong to the Reincarnation Dynasty. Your Majesty, do you want to send a defense team to occupy it?" On the side of the generals, Zhang Fei scratched his head and said in confusion, "Lord Su, the demonic wolves in the Silvermoon Prairie have all been killed by us. What's the use of occupying a prairie that is so far away?" Su Shu shook his head and said, "General Zhang, you are wrong. If the Reincarnation Dynasty wants to establish a foothold in the untainted land, we must expand. Although the Music Prairie is not close to the Reincarnation Dynasty, it is of great strategic importance. Once we occupy it, we can explore the surroundings to see if there are any rare mineral resources." Yi Chen nodded and said, "I'm also considering this matter. There's no need to rush the matter of occupying territory. After all, we are still 300,000 kilometers away from the Silvermoon Prairie. Let's wait until we clear out all the fiends within 2,000 kilometers. After we have cleared all the demonic wolves in the Silvermoon Prairie, these territories will belong to us." Hearing that there was going to be another war, the generals became excited and rubbed their hands. Yi Chen glanced at them and said, "According to my speculation, although the demonic wolves have been wiped out, the other demonic tribes in the untainted land don't know how powerful the Reincarnation Dynasty is. Soon, another wave of demonic wolves will come to attack us. Therefore, you should stabilize your realms these days and prepare for the next wave of fiercer battles." "Yes, Your Majesty. Yes, Your Majesty." All the civil and military officials left energetically. When Yi Chen returned to the imperial harem, he was surrounded by a group of women. Chapter 1324. "Your Majesty, why didn't you allow us to participate in this battle?" Zhao Yu said with a weeping face. "Why didn't you let us participate in this battle? Do you take us as useless vases?" Empress Hari and Nana also stamped their feet and said unhappily, "That's right. Why didn't you ask me to participate in such a fun thing?" De Qiao and Xiao Qiao hugged Yi Chen's arms from both sides and said coquettishly, "Your Majesty, we just heard that there will be another battle soon, right? We have to participate this time, okay?" Diaochan and Huang Yuang hugged Yi Chen's thighs from both sides and said, "Your Majesty, please accept us. We don't want to be a burden to you." Yi Chen suddenly laughed. In fact, such a small-scale battle was not dangerous. It was good to let these women participate. Yi Chen's women were not flowers in a greenhouse. So he opened his arms and said with a smirk, "Then all of you can come together. If you satisfy me tonight, I will agree to let you participate in the next battle." With a series of coquettish cries, Yi Chen was soon drowned in a sea of white legs and jade-like arms. Compared to the jubilant sacred city of Samsara, the whole untainted land was in an uproar. At least thousands of fish escaped from the battlefield and escape. The news they brought back was so shocking that the whole demon tribe was so shocked that their mouths were wide open and they almost lost the ability to speak. Are you kidding me? The 80 million elite warriors of the wolf tribe were all wiped out by the Samsara city. Impossible, you must be kidding. 80 million elite soldiers of the wolf tribe. How could a small human city stop them? Sirs, this matter is absolutely true. Those humans are simply incomparably ferocious, much more ferocious than our demon race. Moreover, there is something strange about their city. Not only is it impossible to climb, but we also saw with our own eyes countless demon races transformation stage demon race wielding heavy weapons and desperately attacking the city walls. However, they still couldn't damage the city walls at all. Most of the demon creatures were right under the foot of the city, unable to do anything. They became living targets for those human warriors and were shot to death. Yes, the situation at the scene was so tragic. If it weren't for that weird city, the human race would have long been wiped out by us. There's one more thing. This human city is very rich. Even the ordinary soldiers are fully equipped with spirit tools, not to mention the generals. Every one of them is equipped with a magic treasure-level weapon. The poor wolf tribe, in total, has no more than 1,000 spiritual weapons, and they are not even complete set. After hearing this, the eyes of some demon tribe members instantly lit up. Not for anything else, but for the rich human tribe's city. They did not feel sorry for the loss of the wolf tribe, because most of the demon tribe could generally reproduce. If it were not for the fact that the land occupied by the demon tribe was too barren, the number of demon tribe members would have swelled by dozens of times. When the harsh winter came and resources were scarce, the demon tribe would have several wars with other tribes to consume the surplus of their own kind. Therefore, in their opinion, the loss of the wolf tribe was small, mainly because the sudden appearance of the human tribe's city was too rich. If they could take it, the high-end strength of the entire demon tribe would rise by a lot. Hearing this news, the eyes of the demon tribe members shone with greed. Soon, the leaders of the 72 caves and 36 peaks, which were the most powerful forces within a radius of thousands of kilometers, gathered together to discuss this matter. After all, with the lesson of the past, this human tribe's city was really a tough nut to crack. Any one of them might not be able to take it down, so they had to unite all the demon tribes. The actions of the 108 forces and their leaders were all at the great demon tribe level. The 108 great demon tribe members discussed and came to a consensus. In order to take down the human tribe's city, they had to first break through its defenses. According to the information provided by the demon tribe members who escaped, this was simply an impossible task. With just the 108 great demon tribe members, they did not have absolute confidence in taking down the human tribe. One of the demon tribe leaders gritted his teeth and said, "I've analyzed this matter. With just the 108 of us, we can't take it down. We have to be foolproof. If we want to break through the city's defenses, we can only ask for external help. Do any of you have a suitable candidate?" Speaking of external help, I have an idea. It's the Black Wind Demon King in the Black Wind Mountain 50 million miles away. The Black Wind Demon King's attack power is unparalleled. If we can get the Black Wind Demon King to take action personally, breaking through the defenses of a mere human tribe's city will be as easy as pie. Some of the leaders shook their heads and said with uncertainty, "I've heard that the Black Wind Demon King is extremely greedy. If we ask him to take action, we'll have to share a large portion of the profit." Many of the leaders shook their heads and sighed. No one was willing to share the fat meat in their hands. However, if they could not break through the defenses of the sacred city of reincarnation by themselves, it was indeed a waste of effort. In the end, everyone agreed to invite the Black Wind Demon King to help. Therefore, the 108 forces joined forces. Each of them sent out more than 1 million elite soldiers. Together, they had more than 120 million soldiers. These 120 million demon soldiers were much stronger than the wolf demons. They were all elites, and most of them were in the transformation stage of the demon race. Moreover, this time they were also targeted. After careful understanding, they found out that during the previous siege, the most lethal attack against the werewolves was the rain of arrows that filled the sky. When millions of soldiers from the Samsara Legion and other major legions fired a volley, they could take away hundreds of thousands of demon tribe members' lives. Therefore, the first thing they had to do was to defend against the arrows. Therefore, each of these demon tribe members carried a huge piece of black iron ore. Each piece of black iron ore was as big as a door and as thick as a green brick. Black iron ores could be found everywhere in the territory of the demon race. Speaking of which, the demon race was very rich in mineral resources. Unfortunately, the entire demon race was not good at refining weapons. They had so many ores, but they had no way to make weapons. Although there were human caravans that came to negotiate with them, those human caravans were too greedy. Hundreds of tons of black iron ore could not be exchanged for a single magic weapon. Therefore, these demon tribe members had no choice but to dig out the black iron ore and carry it on their bodies as shields. Chapter 1325. In order to take over the sacred city of Samsara, the 108 forces had tried their best. Their idea was good. With the shield formed by the dark iron ores, the casualties of the demon race would be greatly reduced. As long as they could break through the sacred city of Samsara, they could pile up the dark iron ores under the sacred city of Samsara. As long as the dark iron ores were piled up to the same height as the sacred city of Samsara, they could jump directly into the city. The tall city walls would be like nothing. After making so many preparations, all the leaders were full of confidence. They felt that no matter what, they would be able to take over the sacred city of Samsara smoothly. In the sacred city of Samsara, the entire army was preparing for war. All the strategists and valiant generals laid out a huge map in the martial arts practice hall. The entire map clearly marked out the terrain within tens of thousands of miles around the sacred city of Samsara. These valiant generals began to make deductions based on the various possible situations that might occur next. At this moment, Yi Chen suddenly felt that there was something going on in the small world. He waved his hand and the 10 craftsmen appeared in front of him. Although only a few days had passed in the outside world, more than 10 years had passed in the small world. The 10 craftsmen were extremely excited to see Yi Chen again. They knelt down on one knee and said loudly, "Greetings, Your Majesty. Fortunately, we did not disappoint you. We have made the first batch of equipment and are here to hand them over to you." Then, a golden light flashed and the square in front of the throne room was stacked neatly with 1,000,000 sets of magic treasure-level equipment, including weapons. Yi Chen was overjoyed. He laughed and said, "You came at the right time. The sacred city of Samsara is about to start a war. These magic treasure-level equipment are timely help." One of the craftsmen said loudly, "Your Majesty, there is one thing I need to tell you. In order to make 1,000,000 sets of magic treasure-level equipment, we have almost used up all our resources. We need to replenish them." Yi Chen nodded and said, "That's not a problem. You just need to wait for a few more days. After we take over the territory of tens of millions of miles, we can use all the resources at will. I have already checked. The mineral resources in the untainted world are extremely rich. There are 3 huge dark iron veins, 2 purple gold veins, and 1 crystal vein within thousands of miles around our Samsara sacred city." The 10 craftsmen were overjoyed and said excitedly, "Your Majesty is too good. We must occupy this territory no matter what." Yi Chen nodded, full of pride. A while ago, the Samsara Legion and the other legions had all leveled up and improved their cultivation. Together with the 1,000,000 sets of magical equipment, their combat ability would be multiplied. Disregarding everything else, the penetrative power and shooting range of the 1,000,000 sets of magical treasure-level bows and arrows had only increased by more than 10 times. Immediately, Yi Chen ordered the generals to come up and distribute the equipment. Guan Yu, Zhao Yun, Zhang Fei, Dian Wei, and the others were green with envy when they saw the sets of magical equipment. After all, they had not changed their equipment for a long time. Although their weapons were magical treasure level, their armors were still spiritual weapons. When the 10 craftsmen saw the generals such as Zhao Yun, Zhang Fei, and Dian Wei, they laughed and said, "Generals, don't be in a hurry. We admire you very much, and have specially made some suitable weapons for you. Please accept them." Then, dozens of shining xenon weapons appeared out of thin air. Guan Yu's was still the green dragon crescent blade, but it had been upgraded to the immortal level. Zhao Yun, Zhang Fei, and the others still had their own weapons, but they had all been upgraded to the immortal level. Zhang Fei waved his immortal item, Serpent Spear, and cried out excitedly, "Why aren't these damned demons here yet? I can't wait any longer. This time, I'm going to kill them all and leave no one alive." Yi Chen nodded. Although these magical equipment could not be equipped for the entire army, all the sergeants and above in the defense organization could be equipped with them. While the generals were happily distributing the equipment, Yi Chen's figure flashed and appeared in Beauty's Alliance's encampment. Li Mengyao, Hu Xiaoye, and Wang Mengmeng were leading the Beauty Alliance's players in battle training. When they saw Yi Chen appear, they were pleasantly surprised. "Master, you're here. Take a look at our battle formation. How's it going?" Yi Chen's appearance made the Beauty Alliance's players very excited. They became even more serious in their training. Yi Chen nodded with satisfaction. "Very good. Women are not inferior to men. As an encouragement, each of you will receive a set of magical equipment." Then, Yi Chen waved his hand, and the 10,000 sets of magical equipment flew into the hands of the female players. Li Mengyao, Hu Xiaoye, Wang Mengmeng, and all the other female players could not believe their eyes. They rubbed their eyes hard. They were not mistaken. They really were magical equipment. Everyone cheered with joy. They had only been in the great wilderness for a few days. Not only did they have a breakthrough in their cultivation, but their equipment was also greatly improved. All of this was given to them by Yi Chen. Every female player looked at Yi Chen with tender eyes. The affection in their eyes could almost drown Yi Chen. Yi Chen could not take it anymore. 2 days ago, he was oppressed by Zhao Yu and the others in the harem. Although he was now a sky immortal, he could not withstand the passion of these 10,000 female players. Seeing his women so satisfied and happy, Yi Chen was very pleased. He clapped his hands and another 30,000 Tao comprehending tea leaves appeared out of thin air. Then, the 30,000 five-path tea leaves automatically flew to each of the female players. Suddenly, an incomparable fragrance enveloped everyone. After smelling this fragrance, everyone felt refreshed and lightheaded. In the end, Meng Yao was more knowledgeable. She widened her eyes in shock and bit her lips in disbelief. She looked at Yi Chen and asked, "Master, is this the legendary enlightenment tea? I heard that a piece of Tao comprehending tea can increase one life." Yi Chen looked at them affectionately and said in a low voice, "I'm sure all of you know that the primordial world is different from the Three Kingdoms novice zone. You can't revive indefinitely here. There are only 10 chances to die. After 10 times, even your body will die. You are my women. I can only do my best to protect you. 3 pieces of Tao comprehension tea can increase your lives by 3 times. I hope you can cherish it. We have just arrived in the primordial world. We have not experienced the great rivers and mountains. You must accompany me until the end of time." Yi Chen's words moved all the women so much that their tears fell like rain. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.